Hey, everybody. We're just kind of, I guess, waiting for everybody to have some time to get in, join up, whatnot. Waiting on my co host still. Scarlett is running a little behind, but she's going to be here quickly. If she's not on air, she's probably at least going to be on Facebook Live or somewhere commenting in for a few minutes. She's got the new homestead and the kids and the husband and everything. You can't hear me. What? Well, that's no good, Lee. Give me a second. Let me see what I can do. Settings. Okay, it says you should be able to hear me, but it also says it's not picking up too much. Echo, automatically adjust mic volume. No. Seems like you should be able to hear me. Can you hear me now? No. Wondering. Okay, let's see. Okay, how about now, guys? Can you hear me now? Am I here? Hello? This could be problematic, guys. Can you hear me now? Or now? Can you guys hear? Let me know if you can hear me, because now it seems like you should be able to hear me. Maybe I fixed it. Maybe it didn't. Yes. Hi. Hi, Lee. Nice to see you. I'm glad that now we can hear me. So, what I was saying was I was giving some time to get people in here. Um, and we're waiting for Scarlett. Um, and if any of you have been keeping up with Scarlett lately, she's going to have her own homestead updates now. She just got her house and she's got the kids and everything, and she's trying to get settled for the evening. So she'll be with us shortly. Hi, Darren. I'm glad to see everybody here. How is everybody doing? How are we feeling? We're going into Christmas, and we're getting ready to start 2022, which is just outrageous to even think about. So, how are we feeling about this? Like, what are we feeling about it? I'm a little, I've always got kind of that go with the flow, it is what it is mentality. I'm never really too, caught up, but I am a little presumptuous and anxious. Hi, San. Um, Going into 2022 myself. 2020 was so great. Then 2021, I mean, just blew the socks off of 2020. So, 2022 is just going to be, oh Lord, baby Jesus. You know what, Lee? I want to disagree. I really, really, really do. But I can't. You know what? You're so frickin' right. Like, oh man, it's not just the strangeness, right? It's also the like, I don't, the levels of just, I don't even know. I don't even know what to call it anymore. Because let's just talk about, I don't know how many of you, oh, TLO, hi. I'm so excited to see you, buddy. Yes, you know what? They have TLO. People have totally lost their mind. Their shit. You're no doubt. No doubt. Um so yeah, like it's getting, okay, so I'm sure most of you know the Sharon and Marie Colander pie thing going on right now, right? That's like broken the internet, as they say. Um, like, if you haven't heard of it, basically this woman got a pumpkin pie, baked it for Thanksgiving, burnt the shit out of it. I mean, I don't even know how you burn a pie that bad, like, other than like set the oven to like the armpit of Satan and turn it on. Like, ridiculous. And then she like posted pictures of it and blamed Marie Colander and said, thanks Marie Colander for ruining Thanksgiving for her burning the pie. Now, I don't know if she meant for this to be a serious post or a joking post, but either way, people have run with it. It is out of control. There's memes everywhere. It's all over the place. So that is kind of the mentality of people that we're dealing with. Like, I burnt the pie, but I'm going to blame the manufacturer for me burning the pie. It's their fault. It's theirs. How does that make sense, y'all? How? Somebody somebody make that make sense. It's like, not to beat a dead horse, but it goes with many other things. Like, mine doesn't work because yours doesn't work. They have TLO, it's not just their collective shit though, because they've lost their singular shit, collective, they've just lost their shit, period. If they even had shit to lose to begin with. Like, let's be for real. I mean, we spent a whole year, 2020, hiding inside pretty much the whole year. 2021 hasn't been that much really different. Like I said at the beginning of 2021, I was like, you know what? It's just 2020 old enough to drink now. And I really feel like that's pretty much what we've experienced this year. Which really, I'm not sure what to expect from 2022. I mean, what do you guys think? What kind of expectations do you guys have coming into 2022? What do you think's going to be going down? Hi, BJ. Ooh, Scarlett made it. Scarlett made it. Scarlett made it. Yay.
No, hello.
You know what, CLO? I think you may be onto something with that, maybe just a little bit. Like you said, it's worse because everyone's hiding, was hiding in fear. But now that fear does own them, and people have forgotten fear is an emotion. Thus, we can control it. Now, see, danger is different than fear, but fear, we are being run by fear. And it is because we have forgotten that fear is an emotion and that we can control it. Yeah. We're just talking about like, just like we were waiting on you. So, we're just pretty much talking about like how everybody's feeling coming into 2022 and Christmas and all that, you know. BJ, I think I would love to disagree. However, I'm not going to disagree because I'm not 100% sure that you're wrong. I want you to be wrong. I'm almost positive that you actually want to be wrong too. But um I don't think. I think that there is going to be some of that going on. And that's unfortunate. Uh and then well, that's amazing, Darren. That's what we need to be seeing, a collectiveness across the board, right? I mean, indubitably, you're not that slow, BJ. See, I knew, like I said, I'm almost 100%, that you want to be wrong. And I want you to be wrong, but I can't, like I said, I can't say that you're not. But back to this comment from Darren, see, this is what we need. We need unity, we need harmony, we need people. You don't even have to be completely like minded. You just have to stand for the individuality and ability to allow everyone to share their own experiences in their own ways and experience their lives in their ways. That is an amazing turnout. That is a really amazing turnout, Darren. Guys, congratulations on that. I mean, being able to bring together over 500,000 people in one area to voice your opinions and to get your thoughts out there. Congratulations. I am proud of you guys. Keep up the great work. I will be sending amazing energy that way. I am so happy to hear this. That is, wow, those numbers are astonishing. Thanks, Lee. Yeah, BJ. I do think that we are finding more harmony in the smaller communities and neighborhoods. Um, I would agree with that. Welcome back.
Thank
Welcome back.
you. It took me a minute to get back in. It's awesome.
I know, I know. That's awesome though, Darren, because there should be no one, well, there is only, in my opinion, one race and one religion, and that is love.
Right. And I mean, people. I mean, so the idea of and construct of race is man created.
That's right. That's right.
I mean, if we saw someone that maybe didn't look human, maybe we could say these things. But as far as that
But
goes,
still, even then, not looking human, does that automatically give us the right to treat them less than human?
right. You see what I
See, no,
mean?
it really doesn't. Because what does not look human could be actually far more human than we have ever dreamt of being.
True. True.
No, what does not look human may be exactly human, just far more ascended than our human selves. I mean, there's so many concepts that one can go with on that. You know what I mean?
That is true. That is true. Because I mean, if you wanted to bring it to like extraterrestrials or that type of thing,
Right, right. Because we've had many shows on that.
we have. There's a new listener of Kim's that wants to talk about her experience. And
Mm.
she says she has like photos and videos, and she's been afraid to put it out. But we're gonna talk to her, and we're gonna get back to our roots and do a show like that because it just happened to come back around.
Yeah, right. Totally there with you. Darren, unfortunately, we're seeing a lot of this right now, no matter where you live or what's going on. Mainstream media is paid off by government. We have this conversation many, many times. And nobody nobody wants to believe it, but that's, believe it, don't believe it, whatever. You're seeing it right now. You're seeing the result of the media being paid by the government right now before your eyes. That's all I can say. Open your eyes and you'll see it. Yes, the consciousness and sentience of bringing 500,000 people together under one purpose is pretty freaking tremendously amazing, Darren.
It is true.
There's deceit everywhere. It doesn't matter where you're living right now or what country you live in. There's deceit in your government.
Yep, everywhere. Local, state,
Right.
national,
Right.
all governments are rife with deceit.
No one place or one country is immune.
That is true.
And no one country is innocent either.
That is true too.
The blame game, it's there shouldn't be one anymore at this point. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who's to blame anymore. How do we fix it? That should be the unitive question.
We're going to have to start thinking about that though. How do we take back our governments? How do we get our power back since it's been taken and delegated? And now basically we've been told, since we haven't been on air, we've been on air a few times, Dwayne and Tim and I, but with all these cases going around the country, basically telling us you don't have rights anymore and the rights you did think you have don't exist.
Correct. You're absolutely 100% correct across the board there. Scarlett and BJ, yes, it is a natural. Social gatherings are a natural built-in part of just being a person. No law is ever going to change the desire. But you're wrong when they say that they won't change the instinct, because they will change the instinct. That's what they're doing now, very slowly.
Right.
Oh, I knew what it was. I knew exactly what you were saying. Don't worry about it, BJ. The instinct is going to change because they're going to brainwash it right on out of there.
True. That's very true. Yeah, that's what I mean. People have not been willing, and I don't mean this the wrong way, but like to go all the way through the fight, right?
Right.
Like everybody's willing to rah, this is messed up, anti-mask, all this, but like I don't know if America or any country of the world at this point has the real balls to actually shut this shit down. I don't know if anybody does. I know there's a few of us that do, but the numbers we actually need to succeed, I don't know. Because people get beat up, and then like the January 6th, very good example. Soon as people started getting shot and hit over the head, they were going home.
Right.
But we were going to take over the Capitol, though, they said. Okay. So, like, when you think about it in that perspective, like, who's actually really there? And then who's been there to actually keep up the fight, and who's going to keep it up? Having basically a front line week after week. Like, we could learn something from them little Chaz motherfuckers over there out in Oregon and Portland. Okay. They still was rioting even a couple weeks ago about something else. We could learn something from them. They went out every night for hundreds of nights in a row. Hundreds of nights in a row. Until we get that fire, I don't know if we can win.
Again, BJ, I do think that you're right. People are going to just fall back on a default.
True.
They're just going to go into a default mode.
They do want to see the other guy to go first. See,
right, they do.
Even with like a protest, you know what I mean? Like, they can go.
There is some truth in that, okay? And the reason I say that is, like, my mom, my grandmother, my great-grandmother, my grandpappy, all of them used to say, I'm not going to be first, but I'm not going to be last. You need to be somewhere in the middle.
Right. Which, I mean, in general is a good measure of life. But right now, we're getting to the point where it's make or break. So either we're going to be on the front line, or we could sit and watch while everybody gets picked off and try to make a resurgence, Hail Mary at the end. But does that save you?
Right.
I just think we need more people up at the front lines. I mean, I just don't know. See, that's what it needs to. Good. I'm glad, Darren. The Aussies are doing it because we need that. But
Right?
y'all have been locked
That's
down
the
for a
same thing.
long ass time too, though. If we would have been locked down as long as y'all were, and the way you
You
guys
might
were,
be having a different conversation.
you ain't never lied, Red. You ain't never lied. So, with that being said, I do see, and I think they realize that in America too, and realize like, oh wait, we can't do that to these people because they're gonna snap
Right.
and backed off a little bit because I just think because we haven't been locked down or as hard as Australia, this is why people aren't ready to like. People have lost everything in Australia. Before this, it was already almost expensive. You already couldn't live. Like a house in like Melbourne was like $2,700 a month. Who the hell can afford that? No one can afford
Yeah,
that.
no. Who you talking to? I live in the poorest place in the valley. We got people buying places up here that ain't never lived here, ain't never been here. They want to buy a place and then they want to rent it, and they want to rent it for like 1700. They want
Yeah.
this month, they want last month, and then they want the current month. Do you know what?
Who has $5,000 plus in their bank account just ready to pop down for a place? No one.
No. Mm-mm.
No one.
No.
Not anybody who's an average everyday person. That's why
No.
people are having to have roommates. People are having to go back to communal living because but it all was a scam to begin with when you think about it. The banks wanted to get people having individual mortgages and getting them out of the family
Yep.
home. So
Yep.
they made that idea attractive more so than anything else.
Yep. And we are all being lied to by our governments right now.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter, again, where you live or what side of the world you're being lied to by your government because all the governments are in on the lie
Or
together.
what hemisphere? Because I mean, there's a different hemisphere, so I guess it doesn't matter. Northern, southern hemisphere doesn't matter.
So, guess what, guys?
What, Red?
I have not had nicotine in my body for over a month.
Yay, we're all proud of Red. Yay. I have
That,
nothing to add or contribute because I still smoke, so I have nothing to add or contribute. Just support. Yay.
oh, well, I am not downing anybody.
No, but I have nothing to add nor contribute. Just support. Yay. Like, that's good though. We think that when Red got sick, it just like flushed the need out of her body. I don't know. But you know what? When my dad once had a surgery in 2000, he went to the hospital for like 2 days when he had a hip surgery. And he went in and he smoked and he went out and he never smoked another cigarette ever again. Ever.
Thanks, CLO.
So I do feel there's something to that though. Like there is something where you could shift that mindset and move forward and over it.
You know
If
what?
that makes sense.
Honestly, I was just so fucking sick,
That's what
dude.
I mean. Like my dad
That
couldn't
I
even get out of the
couldn't
bed to
do
go.
shit. I couldn't even fucking lift the vape to my fucking mouth to hit it. So I just didn't have it. Like,
See, look, even Darren's out here about to board with somebody. See what I'm saying? It's making everybody have to choose those options. It's just,
yeah, see, that's ridiculous,
it
Darren.
is. But
Sorry.
yeah, no, we're proud of Red. I mean, I don't know. It just happened. I don't know if Red was trying for it,
No, I
but
wasn't. I wasn't trying for it. But see, I never put any expectations out there. Even when I started vaping, I never said I was quitting smoking. I just said, "Hey guys, I'm going to start trying this." And then it led to me not wanting a cigarette, and then I got sick. Just couldn't vape. Now I haven't had the nicotine. I've repurposed it all. So now I use it for all my weed stuff for the most part. So it's not a wasted rig.
no. I mean, that's good because otherwise, if you do stop vaping, you are out like money, because a lot of people get really into it and then have all this money in the juices and have money in all this, you know what I mean?
Now, I'm
Doodads
not
for your
some
rigs
damn
and
juices.
bonds.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm out like
I'm
200
sure you could find some people who vape though to give them to,
in juices. Like,
or if they're more full, like, hey, I'll sell you this for $5. I'm sure somebody will be down.
I got juices out the wazoo. It's crazy how many juices I have. I didn't realize how many juices I had until I wasn't smoking it anymore.
Right.
Then I was like, holy bejesus, I got 3 juices in the car. I got 5 juices in my room. I got a juice in Vicky's car. I got 2 juices in Vicky's house. I got a juice at work. You're like, holy shit.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, you don't realize how deep you be in it, but it be in it.
Yeah, I was in pretty deep. But so that's like my biggest news. Next thing I guess is, well, I've got 10 puppies to get rid of.
Well, 8, but
Well, okay, 8. I got 8 that need homes right now. 2 are already home, and they're going to Scarlet actually.
we're right.
So I have 8. Their mom is a Queensland healer. Their dad is a red healer. They are not Australian shepherds. They are Australian healers.
Okay, I messed up. Okay, but
I'm not blaming you.
we
I
had
was just clarifying for the girl that thought I would be
girl. Yes, that's what I was. That's where I was going. Because one thing on the internet, people need to stop being so like,
literal.
yeah, yes, over just like nothing, like literally like ripping you apart on a subject. You may just not know. Like, I just have been seeing that way too often lately, and it's just been very, not that the internet's not a disheartening place anyway, but it's just like, damn, don't say nothing. The thing your parents always told you, if you don't have nothing nice to say, don't say shit at all. It's kind of that thing.
Actually, BJ, they probably resemble them quite a lot.
They do. They are like that. It's like that little Bluey dog, like on the little cartoon Bluey. That's what they are.
I think that would be fair to say.
They're red and blue.
They're actually ready to go, like nowish.
Well, that's what they are, Darren. The little Bluey show out there in Australia. That's what they're supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Bluey's from Australia. That's why. I'm sure Darren has even seen it even in passing, just because it's that big out there. Like, they're cute. So my kids are excited. My daughter likes Bluey, so she's like, I'm getting a Bluey dog.
So, all right. Are we ready for moon news?
Ooh, yes, we are.
Oh man, my glasses be so dirty, guys.
If you don't get some glasses cleaner, it's your old eyes. I forgot you even wear glasses.
Shut up right now. Oh, when I fucking see you, you're getting smacked for that comment. Like, how fucking
fight? Okay, all right, old eyes. Let's see if you can smack me without your glasses. Let's go.
Fucking wait till your eyeball karma comes rolling around, bitch.
Just wait. We'll see if your old eyes can see me.
Yeah. Well, here's something I can do that you can't do. When I don't want to see shit, I can just take my fucking glasses off. Boom!
Now, see, that is a beneficial benefit. Okay. Now, you'd be like, oh, they'd be like, Run, did you see that? I didn't see anything.
I didn't see shit.
I saw nothing.
Glasses.
I didn't see nothing. You bring Red along for some dirt. Red, you see anything? I didn't see nothing. I dropped my glasses on the floorboard. I couldn't see nothing. Look, perfect witness, alibi. Just
Right.
saying.
You're saying.
Just saying. Oh, he says every channel 5 would have one over there. I'm sure.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, they're popular and they're good looking dogs. I mean, Red's glasses are nice.
TLO, I love you. And
She
they
has nice
kind of are
glasses.
stupid freaking librarian
They kind of
glasses
are though. They kind of are because that's all they
because
make
they
now.
are
To be fair,
bifocals.
and they all are like square. You know what I mean? They don't really make
They
any
are
shapes anymore.
square. They are
Yeah, they make
bifocals. So,
square or rounded square. Like they don't make them like they used to, where you could have like a circle or a weird shape. They don't do
yeah,
that
no.
anymore.
So, yeah, they are kind of
They all
like librarian glasses. It's no. Okay, so moon news, guys. Moon news. Are you ready?
am I? I am.
I
Is
don't.
everybody ready?
I don't
Are we
think
are we
anybody's
ready,
ready.
people? Are we ready for Moon News? The return of Moon News, Scarlett's favorite segment.
Okay, so we're gonna skip it.
Ah, y'all always fuck with me. I hate all of you. You know what? I love everybody on FRN because everybody knows they screw with me, and it's terrible, but it's awful at the same time. Don't be playing with my emotions. Look, everybody's ready. Everybody's ready.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So now, as we know, guys, I got to do this because somebody.
We got a new Sharon. Y'all done heard about the Sharon thing? Okay, before we start Moon News, I have been enjoying that
We
for the
talked
last
about
week.
Sharon earlier
Did you talk
before you
about
came
Sharon?
on.
Okay, so
We
we are
did.
now replacing Karen's with Sharon's. So some Sharon
Well,
decided
I
to approach
can't
Red.
really do that because Sharon doesn't fit into my scheme of caring too damn much about shit that ain't none of their business.
Sharon ain't caring too much about something that's none of their business. It rhymes, girl.
Right, right. Okay.
I'm just saying. But point being, this woman came, and so here we are.
So, yeah. Okay. So, Full Moon News is a monthly, real life moon based idea of how the month may run. It will often predict what will happen in everyday life for the month. It is for entertainment purposes only, since I'm required to say that.
Right.
Okay, so
Thank you, Red.
you're welcome. So we got a full moon in December. It's December 18th, 2021. This Saturday. Well, next Saturday. Right, right.
Right. Well,
Okay.
that's a couple Saturdays. It's the
Right,
5th. And then
right. So, it's also, referred to as the cold moon, the snow moon, the winter maker moon, hoarfrost moon, long night moon, moon before Yule, Gemini moon.
moon before Yule. Somebody was just coming up with the name. Like, you know what? It's the moon before the Yule. Bro.
It is. Right. You're right. So, but it is what it is, man. And they're always gonna have their little things. And I was a little stupid because I took all my notes that I wrote before I conjuncted them into the news, which I usually still refer during the news to help me like jump up parts of it. And I made bookmarks out of them for later with the herb stuff. Oh man, I was an idiot, but whatever. It is what it is.
You'll
Okay.
get it. You'll get it back together, right? Trust.
It is what it is. Okay. Okay. So we are still going to be presented with two very different sides being displayed to us, the world. And these are coming from very expert communicators, guys. They're chameleons. They're adept to blending into groups based on their perception of vibes and energy. They're going to be smart and passionate. They're going to be able to showcase the quick wit and the looking on the bright side. Once determined on a side, they're going to direct their emotions steadfastly and loyally. But they're also going to voice their opinion, not gossip. Now, please take note, gossip is in parentheses.
Gossip.
Right? You see, you feel me?
I feel you, gossip.
Right. Okay. Now, they're going to gather only the information presented to them, especially because it's easier to ask others instead of the person. Hence, how the gossip will be stirred. The other side is going to show as very caring, willing to put others before selves in an intelligent, harmonic, and compromised way to diplomacy, saying they see all.
We lost Red. How did we lose Red? Rude. Always lose Red during Moon News. You know what? Unfair. We're gonna wait for Red. Because apparently we've lost Red. And hopefully we'll get Red back. There's Red. Hello, Red.
My phone's overheating because it's retarded.
Is it really? Open the window or something. You know what I do when I do that? I put it like out the window because it's cold now.
I know.
Mine does it too. And it'll be like, your phone's overheating. I just got on it. Like,
well, and it's only this app or this thing that does it.
Well, because it uses a lot of power and battery, but usually it's like an hour or two in for me. But I just open up the window and just kind of set it there and let it chill out.
I would if I had windows like that.
I know. Well, I figured you might have been in the car, but we lost Red again. Oh no, this is terrible. We can't have her phone overheating in the first few minutes. What is going on? This is unfair. All I've wanted is Moon News, y'all. Look at the universe. I was all excited all day. All day. And now we got to see what happens. So in the meantime, everybody, how's it been going? How's your Sunday? Hope it's been a good Sunday. Hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving. It's been good around here. It's been okay. Been kind of slowly losing it myself, to be honest, but what can you do? I know, right during Moon News. TLO, don't say that I was bringing it into existence not to be. That's not fair. I wait for Moon News. I wait for it. Well, while we're waiting, I'll bring up a few things. Let's see what we've got. You know, it's usually always mostly the same old. Let's see if there's anything interesting. Okay, y'all. Are y'all ready? This is a terrible, terrible article. Oh, here. Oh, good. I didn't even have to read it. Hey, Red.
Ridiculous.
Well, that's what I said.
This is just asinine.
It really is. Yeah, because mine's not even like warm yet.
Yeah, no, my shit's all on fire.
Yeah. You gotta make sure to keep it cool before you use it next time. That does help though. I've had to put it in the freezer for like a minute or like put it outside for a second.
Right. Okay, so
Let's try to get to it.
right.
I was gonna read this article though. I'll just mention the headline since I'm not gonna read it. Study shows men spread COVID particles more than women and children.
Oh, believe
That's
it.
what I right. Continue.
Okay, so the other side's going to show as caring, willing to pay, put others before themselves in an intelligent, harmonic, and compromised way to diplomacy, saying that they see all points of view to be able to craft compromise or mediate for us all. They will be very strong to start, but the follow through is going to lack. They will appear extremely confident, but with no real sense of identity. They will have very little inside security in what they are telling us.
Mm.
So, no matter which side, the challenge is going to remain and things will happen. So, we need to be prepared to have some solar plexus issues this month. Feelings of being overwhelmed, angry, like things are decaying.
Already there.
This is illness. It's still going to be forced, but there are still other 6 in the world, all with all the sterilization. The 2 are going to run around. So don't be surprised if you do catch something this month. In the deceptive, unreliable falsehood of the times, these cowards will come forth pushing nasty illness with nasty infection, and they will find joy and delight in doing so. Greed is the driving characteristic. They will be stable with their willpower and courage to throw things off balance, to make us fearful and cautious. Authority is going to project itself with wisdom and confidence, faith and intelligence, seeming sincere, trustworthy, loyal, and stable. They're going to appear very peaceful and tranquil, but the empathy is in fact very fragile, with cowardly and daunting communicators by voice and their own idealistic verbal self-expression will be their own self-truth that they want accepted with openness, respectably, despite how we feel.
Mm.
The physical actions will show power, fearlessness, and courage, all while needing patience, love, and loyalty to self and integrity to hope for future renewal, growth, and new beginnings. There's going to be hidden meanings that are going to be revealed, and they will be pushed once again. There will be another push once again for equality and friendship. We will heed wisdom, we will need wisdom, deep thought, and calm minds. We will need clarity and to focus on purpose to see the insight to our vision and inspire these new friendships.
Hmm.
Um, Where was I? Oh, there is purity in silence, and we all will need some grace and serenity with devotion to calmness. Our higher purpose and spiritual connectivity are purity and shine with unfathomable favor for the rebirth and renewal of an inclusion of universal wisdom, standing, and order. And that is what the month of December looks like we're going to be dealing with.
Already feeling it. Already feeling it. Already here. Legit though.
Now, tonight's topic is love. And we're going to get weird about it. We're going to talk about all sorts of love. You may get uncomfortable. You might not like it. But guess what? Too bad. We're going to talk about it anyway. You know, we're gonna talk about love in a spiritual sense. We're gonna talk about love in its most known sense, and in many, 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 many other ways. So I
am just getting what I was supposed to get together right now.
Oh, you haven't gotten yours together.
No, I'm getting it right now.
The world does need more common peace, BJ. And love. It needs more love. And so we're going to talk about that too a little bit tonight. And feel free to jump in and put your thoughts in throughout this.
Okay, no problem.
Ah. I'm back.
I am unfamiliar with this Mar. I don't know.
Marfugo.
I'm out of the loop. G. I don't know.
Marfugo. I always tell you about Marfugo when I'm watching Marfugo. Oh, I watched this video on Marfugo when we used to go to the Marfugo meetups. All that. Marfugo, he does news on YouTube.
Right.
Marf. Adam.
Right.
That's the one thing I miss, BJ, is they need though, honestly, Dex needs to create a forum on the website. There's no reason why they haven't yet, and they need to. Because I know that they liked the Discord, but even a forum would keep people connected and able to still do meetups and things.
Absolutely.
To be honest. Yep, that's true.
That is true.
It's a good song by Alan Jackson.
That too. Now, there's many, many, many forms of love, right?
Right.
It's not always sexual.
No.
It's not always parental.
No.
You know, it's actually a universal language.
That is true.
I don't think
many acknowledge it as that. It doesn't have to mean dating, marriage, sex, so forth. There's so many forms of it that are out there, but we've been really, really, really only taught of romantic types of love.
True.
Why in the hell is this?
Well, I think I have one good reason why.
Shoot, let's hear it.
Right. Because as you said this is what came into my mind, right? If we only teach like relationship love, then love for our neighbor and our community and our world around us gets diminished. Because we're only seeking relationship love.
Absolutely.
See what I'm saying?
I totally agree. I totally agree with that.
Right. It just came to me. But that's honestly, I think maybe that's why we were herded into that idea. Because if we're only searching for relationship love and courting and being with someone is the number one most important thing you should be doing, how are you helping the community? How are you helping old lady Jenkins down the street? How are you helping in your church community if you're only concerned about finding love? A romantic love.
Right.
I'm just saying, when you really think about that, it makes sense.
Right.
Like, oh shit, that may be when people stopped connecting to their communities and things, when that became the ultimate utmost importance. I mean, hell, people wore special clothing just for courting, and they had special days and times and hours for such, you see, where everything was focused on it.
It was.
It was a big deal. And everybody stopped their personal schedule for this activity. So I think that has a little bit to do with it, because if we only teach people that type of love, number one, people are going to feel less fulfilled, right? Because they're not going to be getting them other forms of love.
Right.
Just saying. Oh, that's a good point. That's a good point. The Greeks did have many types of love. The Greeks would be a good example of a culture that used many types of love unabashedly, I should say, because the Greeks were kind of wild, and it was spread around the community and relationships. So there wasn't just one concentration of where you found.
Right. And it wasn't just the Greeks.
No, but the Greeks are a good example of like
a
culture of that used it all encompassed, like at a point in a time where everybody was using it.
Right.
The Romans, to some degree, didn't have as much. The Greeks were more thinkers in that way of expanding on theological ideas, which that's what this is a theological idea. But at the same time, we know love exists because love can do many things. It can cause physical pain. It can cause mental pain.
Right.
It can cause many different things.
Well, yeah. Okay. And we were, we've been led to believe that any love outside of romantic love is unacceptable love.
True.
These are the things that we're being taught now, and it's a lie.
That is true.
It's a big lie.
I think the return of the tribe culture of people, though, is starting to uncover that lie.
Right. I would agree. And Pamela, you've touched on many different types of love. And Darren, that is a good point. And it goes back to, a lot of people confuse the biblical term, which is do unto others as you would have done unto you. Okay, the way that people are interpreting this is, I'm going to do to other people what they do to me. And that is not what it's saying. What it's saying is, despite how they're treating you, you are to treat them how you want them to be treating you, not how they are treating you.
Right. Treat others how you want to be treated.
Right.
You
Not
know,
how you're being
and that
treated.
goes a long way, especially in the last 2 years. Think about the pandemic. You know, the
Right.
way people went into stores and were super rude to cashiers, the way these folks are still acting a fool on a plane. It's 2021. They ain't changing the rules. Wear your goddamn mask on the plane or don't fly. It's that simple. We don't need to be grandstanding, doing all this extra stuff. Now, if everybody would have stood up in the beginning, might be different, but it's not now. Now you get $15,000 fines. So stop trying to assault the flight attendants. You know, like, stop. Why are we
Right.
doing that? Like, we need
For
to step
real
back.
though.
Like, seriously, like, it's little things like that that people have like grown entitlements over. It's a toxic situation.
Right. And we're gonna touch on some self-love. And yes, love for garden and green thumbs. Um
We
we
have those.
will.
No, TLO, we are going to talk about that. No, this new whole self love thing. No, I'm going to go on a rant because this actually really pisses me off because I've been thinking about this lately. Everything is self love. Everything is, oh, take time, take mental care, health days, do all this stuff. They're basically making it to where people can just basically make an excuse that I need self care at all times. And that's not fucking cool. I need self love at all times.
Right.
And you can use that as an excuse. And so I don't like that. Now, it is important to you, if you don't fill from you got to fill your cup. You know, you can't fill someone else's cup if your cup is empty. You know what I'm saying? So I do
Right.
get that. But this whole like self love, like as a category, as like a woke culture thing, I'm with Tiolo on it. It's toxic and dangerous. Toxic
Yes.
and dangerous.
Yes. No, I'm there. I'm there for it. I feel it.
I just had to go on a little rant about that because that really made me
Oh,
like think, because I've been thinking about this at home lately, actually, because I seen something the other day. Oh, it was a family planning commercial for like end of life for like your loved ones. You know what I
sorry.
mean? And it was like, have a conversation with your older parents and loved ones about caregiving. And they were talking, and it was like the financial aspect. And they were like, make sure you budget in self care for the caregiver. Oh, so I can budget in massages and pedicures because I say it's self care for taking care of my elderly parent. That's not cool. That's not
Now,
cool.
now, self-care is important. Let's not
Right, but
forget.
I feel like people will take it to the extreme though and be like, because I want self care, I'm going to go on an all expense paid trip to Hawaii on mom's money because I need self care. Where does the line? You see what I'm saying? Where is the line? Where is the line? What is appropriate self care? What is unhealthy self care? Because that has to be made a line. Because when we're now putting it in family planning commercials to budget for the caregiver to have self care, that shit's gonna go off the rails. What if somebody's like, "Oh, I want to pull $2,000 out of grandma's account to go to the casino because I need self care"? You see what I mean? See my problem? You see my problem? You see the problem? You see the problem?
Right. Well, see, and BJ is
And
correct.
they're and Bonnie's right, but
Self-care
the
is
new
not necessarily self-love.
that's true. But they're trying to say self care is self love. So, see, this is the narrative that the new woke folks are bringing. So, this is a good point, TLO, that you're bringing into this. I'm glad you did. Because as we go through these things tonight, I think that needs to be put in the back of our minds that there's this new culture, this new woke culture that believes self care is self love. And self care means putting yourself above everyone else, no matter what. And this is a dangerous road we could go down. It's a good thing to love ourselves, take care of ourselves, but the way that they're pushing it is a self-centered level.
Right.
Right. So continue, G.
Now, the most connected thought to the emotion of love is indeed romantic in thought. We think of being in love with someone. a significant other. Sexual, romantic, sizzling, tantalizing love.
Entanglements.
Entanglement. Mm,
Yes, girl.
okay. And it's fair to say this is the most common idea of love.
Well, when you think about love, when it's presented to you from like a little girl, what do you hear first as love? Fairy tales.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And what does fairy tales have a lot of that they've produced now? The original fairy tales in, but romance.
Right.
This dreamy idea of what is. So
Right.
yeah, people yearn for that
Right.
because that's what we're
Now,
taught from a very young age.
right. Because the love, this emotion, this face of love gives us so much hope and happiness and excitement.
It does.
But it does, right?
I call this the honeymoon phase, right? When you
Right.
first meet somebody and it's super
Right.
exciting and everything is new and fresh
Right.
and you're so excited, you can't wait to talk to each other, can't wait
Oh
to see each
yeah.
other, can't wait to be with each other, can't wait to
Right.
just all the things.
Right. Right. Touchy, feely, all the things. Now, just as quick, this same love can bring forth sadness, despair, anger, misunderstanding,
Destruction.
destruction.
Yeah.
When we believe we are romantically in love, we release these hormones in our brain and it triggers many other feelings, specifically joy and euphoria. But if we feel we lose this romantic love, we feel empty, at loss, without, hopeless, even. Love as an emotion is a very needed thing to us as humans.
Bonnie, you're my
Yes.
favorite human being on the whole earth because I'm literally pulling up oxytocin right now because that
Yeah,
is
oxytocin is it? Yes.
the bonding chemical that is released in the brain.
Correct.
And it's strong. It's a very
It is.
strong drug.
It is, and we need it as humans. We do. We need love.
Chewy.com for pets. What?
What?
Yeah, apparently they have it for horses. They got it on Chewy.com. I wonder what they use it for in pets for like birthing. Maybe.
Probably.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Because that's what we use it for, when humans use it. But it's dopamine also. Certain parts of your
Yes.
brain lights up.
Dopamine, oxytocin. Those are two big ones.
Yep, that are out there,
Right.
popping up when so it's not just a physical thing. It's
No,
also a
no.
mental and chemical reaction that's occurring.
Correct. Exactly. Um, and we need this like we need air.
Yes.
Okay. So what we have lost sight of is all the different forms of love. Ever wonder why all those strong feelings start fading over time?
Mm-hmm.
Because we don't ever replenish it with any other kind of love.
Right.
We just expect this one form of love to do everything. No, romantic love is awesome. It's exciting, it's alluring, it's sensual, it's enticing, but it has to keep being fed like any other thing. And we do this with other forms of love. Yes, BJ. Absolutely. Mammals create a bond that helps ensure survival when they give birth.
Yeah, and it's also apparently oxytocin um, impacts your dopamine system, also for reward and motivation behaviors and affiliative behaviors. So it also affects how you act around others. So that's interesting, isn't it? That it could also affect how you feel around others. The release of oxytocin.
Right. So there's an intimate love that we miss. Now, again, the word intimate triggers arousal thoughts, which then links the word to sexual nature. But alas, again, this is a falsehood. Intimate is to be close to have intimate knowledge of, so to speak, also expressed in many forms. So let's look into the non-physical sides a little bit of love. Because we've been trained that love is always a physical expression.
True.
Deep conversations are often very intimate in nature, and this feeds that intimate love through acceptable communication, shared openly between trusting partners. This kind of thing needs to be shared with more than just your romantic love partner.
Correct.
But how?
Like I said, because like dopamine actually works on like affiliate relationships too. It's not just about that alone. This love has to branch out from more than just one place. This is why people feel unfulfilled.
Right? Now, love likes a physical expression.
Right?
But we've been trained that it's always a physical expression.
True.
Which is not true.
That's true.
So we need to unlearn what we know, and we need to start relearning our truths. Love is for everyone, even your foes.
That's hard though. That's hard though.
It is hard, but
That's hard. Because I mean, I don't love Bill Gates. I do not love these people who have us locked down. I do not love, you know what I'm saying? Like, I cannot love these people. The Lord was better than me.
you. Yeah, I definitely can feel that.
Right? I'm just saying, like, it's hard. That's the hard part is to send love to those who you are adverse to, even for a small amount of time or for, eternity.
Yeah, boil just a little water. Right, for sure. Now, love doesn't come in any size.
What is this child trying to make that he is interrupting the show for?
He is actually boiling me water.
Just wanted to know. Just wanted to know.
But it is also because, okay, so here is that moment because here is love, right? Motherly love, parental love. He is boiling me water right now because teenagers ain't shit. And he done drank all of mom's tea. And now mom's like in the middle of a 3-hour show going, and he's like,
tea.
oh, Should I boil you some water? Ya
Man,
freaking think?
yeah, right now. I did post a link, everyone, in the chat for foods to boost oxytocin. So I
Yes.
thought that might be helpful.
Right?
I'm just here to help. That's all I can do.
Oh, yes. Yes, BJ. And the oxytocin will freaking squelch. Absolutely. 100%. And just like, Pam's like,
That's
Andrew, find
good.
your soulmate. Yeah, okay. So any of these things are going to even
How you
happen.
gonna find a soulmate when you can't even be 6 feet within somebody? You got to wear triple masks and have 4 boosters.
Listen,
And
they're
look,
telling you that masturbation is the best way to have sex. Mutual masturbation 6 feet apart with masks on.
lack of physical contact also does contribute to loss of oxytocin and dopamine receptors that could
Does.
technically get turned off in the brain. If those parts of the
Yep.
brain aren't being excited, eventually, you ever heard the term use it or lose it?
Yep.
Sometimes you do lose that function.
Yep.
Um, we are not meant to be solitary creatures. Now, are we meant to have individual ideas? Yes, yes, we are. But are we meant to be individuals as as far as I stand alone? No. No, we are not. Because it has been proven when we're removed from our tribes and our people, we literally disintegrate. Think about all the old
Right.
people. All the old people who died because they didn't have nobody during COVID and no one could come and they all died because they lost the will to
Right.
live. Boom. Right there. When you don't have your people, you do not have the will to stay alive. And so
It's
this is
true.
done by design. If we can remove people from people, well,
Right.
now, number one, people can't get together against them. And number two, people then start losing their will to live. That alone will affect your immune system. That
Right.
alone will get you sick.
Right.
See, you know what I'm saying? I bet you his mom was like doing something else because I think she did something. They said she like did computer programming or some other shit. I don't know what she did, but she did something to him, and he was neglected. Poor thing. Because I'm telling you, nobody could be this evil in the world without some neglect.
You ain't lying. You ain't lying.
Something happened along the way. I'm not saying it's all her fault because I wouldn't want to put no mother through that. But like something happened to bruh, and that is why he's this way because there's just no other good explanation.
Now, I've heard many people say love is an illusion. You heard them? You heard this?
I have heard that.
Right. And this is simply very untrue. It is, however, very much based on perception. How the love being sent is being perceived is, in fact, vital to the actual emotion of love.
Right. This is why love languages became such a popular concept.
Correct.
Right? Because, you may be sending out love in a way that you think is very loving and encompassing, but to
Yeah,
the receiver may not feel so loving and encompassing.
right. Exactly. Because this is why we should never expect what you give in return. So, if love is being expressed and then misinterpreted to be romantic love by either party or even perhaps both parties, it can end catastrophically. Hurt feelings and just so much more. Love is not something we can just turn off and on. Have you ever heard anybody say, "Oh, I just don't love them anymore"? That is actually uh completely untrue. It's not an actual reality. You may have only been in that infatuation love or
Coming back.
hey, there you are. Hi.
Right. Good to know. I'm just trying to get. Apparently, there's one spot that just like
Yeah.
it ain't having. And then if I move it over here, it's fine.
Right.
It's like a 1 inch space, y'all, where it's like 1 inch over this way. No signal. 1 inch over that way. Hello to the world. Full signal.
You know, real love does not stop.
True.
You may stop loving them the same way, but you will always hold a love for them.
Right. That bond of love was created.
Correct.
Whether that bond of love stays together or not,
Right.
I don't think that matters. Yeah, I think people forget that too much too. They want to act like, oh, I once I have love for that person, but I don't love them anymore. You know, you still love that person. You know, you may not love things about them. You may not love it, but you
You may
love
not
the
be
person.
in love with
Right.
that person
Right.
anymore, but you still love that
That
person.
person. Yes, you do. Even if, you know what I mean, to some degree. No one's saying to the degree of, oh, I love them, they're my favorite person. Like I said to Bonnie earlier, you know what I mean? Like it may not be to that level of love, but it may be at the person at the time when I loved you, I loved that person. And I
Right.
still love that person and idea in that space of time.
Right. Now, see, I would agree with that because, like, uh, uh, it's not something that is reusable or universal, really.
Right.
It's not one size fits all, and it does not fit in any containers.
True. How do you quantify it? You can't.
Right.
And it does mean different things to different people at different levels.
Exactly.
That is true. Love to someone may be very cut and dry to your version of it. And that is okay though. We
Right.
cannot fault the person who maybe thinks, oh, a pat on the head at night is all the love a child needs. If that's what they truly believe in their heart, not out of malice, just out of
Right.
a belief. Is that
Right.
wrong?
And love should never have to be faked or forced. And there
True.
is even a love to be shown to your enemies. Actually, they are some of the ones that need it the most. Each thing, including your enemies, is a lesson to be learned.
That's true.
Our enemies bring lessons to our forefront. And for that, we should love them. Throw out that love and let it just flow. We need to learn to express other loves, such as friends and family type love. We need to
Community love. Community love. I think that is number one.
yes, community love.
Community love. We need to love our communities. We need to love, and I get that there are communities that are hard to love in. But if we had more love for the community, just even on a small level, things could change so much.
Right. We need to start telling them that we love them and having that verbal expression of it.
Right?
We need to find a comfortable and acceptable physical way to show that love as well. And it needs to be intimate and often. You can't be afraid to do these things with your friends and your family. You need to go out on friend and family dates. You need to stay overnight. Adult sleepovers are totally a thing, guys.
It
Um,
is.
yes, BJ, there is. There is. I would agree 100% across the board. You know, yeah, adult sleepovers are totally a thing, guys. And they should be encouraged more. There is an intimacy that is shared during those times that feeds
Yeah, why are sleepovers only like
you.
a childhood thing? Why is
Why?
that not
Why
more
do we
accepted?
believe that? Because we are trained to believe that.
Because like you go and spend the weekend and you say, "Oh, can I stay at someone's house?" That's basically like a sleepover, but nobody treats it like that, and more people should.
Yes.
If you're comfortable in inviting someone into your home, you should also be willing to share experiences and memories with them too.
Right, right. Me and Scarlett, we're best friends. We don't get to do
A
a
lot of
whole
best,
lot of stuff together because I'm over here in Colorado and she's over there in Minnesota.
right? We're long distance best friends,
But
which isn't bad, but it also you don't get your everyday best friend experience either.
right now, my best friend here locally,
Her
Vicky,
everyday best friend. We call it everyday best friend because you're with that person all the time.
I
I don't have an everyday best friend, but Red does.
yeah,
I
I
guess
do.
my neighbor is now coming my everyday best friend though.
Yeah, Vicky is my everyday best friend. Vicky and I do friend dates. We go and we rent hotel rooms together for weekends. We go to concerts together. We go to festivals together. We go just to the freaking
Yeah, yeah.
spa.
Red and Vicky went to a unicorn festival, y'all.
We did. We did go to Unicorn Corn
It was
Festival.
dope. And Red looked majestic.
I don't know about that, but okay.
Bitch quit. She had on this beautiful dress and her hair was all braided and she looked extra majestic and everybody was asking her was she a fairy queen. And so yes, Red was looking majestic. Quit before I punch you in your face.
Um,
Yes, majestic.
it's
Own
deep.
it, majestic. I was looking majestic. Yes, I was. Okay, continue.
Okay, fine, whatever. We'll go with what she says. She saw pictures.
I did. See? So proof. But back to the everyday best friend thing.
You haven't had what? Everyday best friend, TLO? This is why we're saying it's important. Get one. You need to find one. I know it's not easy though, because you can't trust people. It's hard.
No, it is. It's hard to trust people. I mean, you call me TLO. You know, you have my phone number. You can call.
Yeah, but that's not an everyday best friend.
True. Yeah, you need
Well,
somebody
but
in the
you and
neighborhood.
TLO are close enough that you could be kind of everyday best friends.
We are close enough that we could be. You know what I'm saying? Like, but you do need somebody who's like close to you, close enough for your neighborhood. You do need like that one person, and it doesn't necessarily even, I guess, have to be a friend or an everyday best friend, but you do need like that neighborhood contact person,
Right.
that person that's close to you in your home base that you can feel comfortable reaching out to.
Well, when you do a sleepover, especially with your friends or family, even there is things that are released in you, and even energy currencies that are released in you in the nighttime that are not released during the daytime that help bond building.
Right, right.
There is an intimacy shared there that you won't experience anywhere else. So it's sad that we do away with this kind of like ritualistic thing when we come out of childhood, because it's actually more favorable for us as adults.
To be participating in, to be honest. Yes, it's and a lot of adults do. But it's interesting how some of these cliquey adults keep with that trend and others don't. You know, because there are groups of friends who do that. There are.
Right.
But
Right.
there also seems to be a lot of, it's not necessarily just a pure thing either. It's very
Right.
contrived.
Oh, Pam, it was a unicorn festival. It was amazing. I mean,
It's a
it was
festival about unicorns, man. Like
it
all
was a
unicorns.
little kid like, but I was a kid that day. I was totally, what do they call it? Scarlet. Um,
Am I supposed to have the vernacular?
identifying.
Yeah,
I was
she identified as a child that day.
a
Yes,
child.
correct. Correct.
Yes. Yeah, BJ, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's something that happens when you do these things.
Oh, that's fucked up, Tilo. What's fucked up?
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, TLO.
I bet your apartment's dope. I gotta come over to see your kitty. I gotta take some allergy medicine though before I see your kitty, but it's cool. I'll be alright.
Right?
I do die though. It's real. And see, and that's another thing too, as you get older, more people pass on. So then
Yeah.
that becomes, and you know, one thing too, people, it's hard as an adult to make friends.
Well, the rest of it.
Adult people are very closed in about the ideal of new friends. Now, I personally have gotten myself lately in circles that are okay with meeting new friends and like the mix of new people.
Right.
You know, that's why networking to me has been very beneficial because a lot of people that go to these network marketing events like to mingle, like to meet other people, like to get to know others. You know, you may not be there for business, but honestly, a lot of times conversations turn personal. And it's those interpersonal connections you can get from people who are willing to be out there. I found that to be very beneficial through networking. Without that, it would be harder to make friends as an adult.
Right. Right. I would agree.
I mean, hell, even without the internet, this all wouldn't even be happening right now.
Rightio.
Just saying. You know, not everybody is willing to be friends, but the people who are, I mean, we're a really good example of um, if you're open minded and you feel as a person like, you know, I always have really shitty friends and it sucks really bad, you know, and I always want a good friend. Look, me and Red found each other. Me and Red, we have no problems. We've been best friends, best of friends since the beginning. We maybe gotten like 2 fights and maybe not talked for like 2 days once. Like
I
best
love
of friends.
I love how that bitch, y'all, I don't know if y'all caught it, but we've been best friends a long time. So I caught that at the end of her little sentence there. And that's just her little like she cracked me up. Y'all don't see the face that goes with the but I do, and it's funny.
you're you're out of control, but it's true. And so, I mean, it's hard though. That's what I think the biggest thing is that people, I don't know, where do you think that got put into people's minds that as adults we can't be friends? You know what I mean? That as adults you don't like open up your circle. You don't let new people in. Like where did
Right.
that concept and idea come from? Because that's been a problem. Now the internet has started to remove some of those barriers. But now also
Yeah, but
they're
it's
starting to
also
go back up.
dangerously remove them too. to a degree. You have to admit that, yes, although it has opened up that avenue, it has also dangerously done so as well. Because just for as much good as it does just as much bad. And I understand there's a balance thing, but is it more bad than good or more good than bad? Because there is so much trickery out there on the internet, especially thrown around.
And you've got a good point, Tilo. It is difficult being a single adult because most people, and see, and this is another, when did the concept everybody had to have families and kids come around? You know, I brought this up on air
Right.
many times. I brought this up many times because I think that that is a, a shitty argument. Um, and if it was more accepting of the world, more people wouldn't just be like, people act like, oh, if you don't have a family, you're just supposed to sit around like lonely or something.
And
Like,
BJ,
why?
you say it was fun and you're
See?
not being sarcastic. You enjoy
No,
it.
see, that's what
That's
I'm
all that
saying.
matters.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like, we need to make it acceptable for people to be like, guess what? I had Thanksgiving alone and it was great. Or
Right.
I'm a single person and I would like to meet a new friend. You know what I mean? And not have this extra rigmarole that I see happening. And it's like, when did that occur? Because wouldn't you think that single adults would tend to gravitate towards each other rather than repel? Because they
Yeah.
have the most in common. You know what I mean? If I was a single adult, I would want to know other and hang out with other single adults because we all could do our own thing or meet up from time to time or whatever it is. Because you're right, TLO. Family structured life is very different than a single life.
It is.
You cannot hang out the
But
same way.
I
You
believe
cannot go do
that
things
we
the
should
same
all
way,
hang out still together, single or not single. I think that we should have friends in all those realms because I
We
feel that
should.
build our character and helps us along our path.
I think so too because I think the people who only have like family friends and then they're all family driven, well then you're not seeing other perspectives of life that you yourself could end up being. How you know when your kids get old, your partner don't leave you and now you a single ass adult?
Right?
You know what I'm saying? Like I just think that we've gotten these okay, what's so weird is that they push this idea of like the family so hard, but yet now have decided to deconstruct it.
Right. Which is
But have
bullshit.
no alternative for people to come together.
Well, but see, we've had this conversation before, right? Remember when we were talking about pulling out a foundation of a building and not replacing it with anything?
Right.
Here we
That's
go again.
this.
Okay.
That's this. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, that's what they're doing. We need to think. That's why I say, like, there's got to be, but people just aren't open to the idea of meeting friends. They're very close minded. People
Right.
are getting burnt every day. So I don't blame them. You
Right.
know, who wants to be friends when every friend you have or everybody you ever give a chance to either screws you over, burns you? You know,
Right. Right.
nobody wants to keep doing that either, though. Like, you can only get but as the Lord says, if somebody wants to take some
That's
from you, you give it
awesome.
to it.
Thank you for doing that. Thank you.
Oh yeah, Lee, that's wonderful.
And BJ, no ma'am, no ham, no turkey, no spam. I would not.
Right. I just want to know, did you have a plastic tablecloth? Could you just wipe it? Was it
Right.
wiped clean?
Right.
Like what
Right.
do we have going on here? Because I just feel like the cleanup on that would be. But are they cute? Will they actually eat off their plates though? This could be actually be really cute. Do they sit down civilized with you? I need to know.
I need to know. Inquiring minds need.
Inquiring minds need to know.
What?
It's true. But I think these concepts, we need to question them. We
Right.
also need to challenge them. And we also need to
do
show that
this.
moving forward, we need a new way.
Right. And do this every chance you get, BJ. Every chance you get.
We do have to make our own fun. Life can be boring or it can be what you make of it. You know, there are certain people in my life, I will not name names, and it's not anybody who's usually on the show, but that refuses to like figure out a hobby or figure out a way to make anything fun. Everything is always depressive and not fun. And that's
Right.
because this person makes it that way.
Right.
Has decided that nothing is fun ever.
Right.
And you just can't live that way. That will put you in a dark place. You know, even if you have terrible circumstances, if you're still waking up every day, you've got a roof over your head, you got food, even if you don't. You woke up today. There's a reason you're still breathing. You know, that just the simplest thing of hope people need
Right.
to hold on to.
Right.
Oh, cute. They sit on chairs with a real
I
clock
know. I
tablecloth.
put that comment up just so you could read it because
Oh, I love that. See, I figured they were all civilized. I had a feeling Bonnie would have pets that were civilized and would be cute sitting at the table, and they would actually be like enjoyable companions to eat with. Like you could actually probably even serve them. Would you like seconds? Like it'd be
Right.
cute. The dogs do smile. They do smile. Dogs do smile. They do. When they get in a real good mood, you can they pop that smile. Some just have dopey grins all the time too, though. But
That's the truth.
ain't that the truth? Some dogs just be walking around. You know which type of dogs I'm talking about. They just be always showing teeth, like, look at me, look at me. I'm so happy.
Right. Right.
I'm just walking around because I'm so happy. Like,
Right.
well, the
Okay.
dark and twisty, it's like Meredith. Yeah, that reminds me of Meredith Grey, dark and twisty. I'll always remember that because that put like a pierce on my soul. But the dark and twisty parts of you are okay to have, but it's not okay to live there.
Right.
That's what all makes us complex. That's what makes us individual.
Right. Right.
But to live there and not understand that love creates many different, because I think a lot of people, especially like relationships and dating nowadays, we all make jokes about it facetiously, but there is something seriously wrong with dating and what people think love is.
Yeah.
People think love is expectations of you must check off and tick off these boxes or else I will move to the next. They have turned into internet perfect, you know, people, or else
Yeah.
you're not worth dating. And people
Yeah.
are so much more complex than online personas.
Well, that's because love needs a physical expression. So the handshake is often the most exchange of temporary love. It's often an encounter, and to many, it's one of the only type of acceptable physical interactions you can have with them.
See, and this is what I was going back to. What if someone's interpretation of love only includes this? Does that mean that they do not love you less? This also brought me into think about when they have you do it in church, when they have you like turn to your neighbor.
Right.
You're sharing that love for a moment. And you usually turn to your neighbor, hello, shake hands. You turn to the next one, hello, shake hands. You know,
Right.
think about that. That's that sharing of energy, temporary sharing of love right there. And that's one place where I could think of that it is used, is like in
Right.
church.
Right. And that energy exchange is the same as a hug if you do it correctly.
Right.
Any form of love can be exchanged through touch. The hug should be the most usable one, but it's not. The reason that this is it should, but embracing lasts for 20 or more seconds because this actually puts your heart chakras in sync with each other. This helps with that universal connectivity, as well as universal love.
That is true.
Now,
That's true. And and I said that at the beginning of the pandemic, buddy, that people need to just smile at other people. That's why masks are bad, because you can't see other people smiling.
you
That
know,
especially living in a small town too, I make sure that I talk to more people, because that person you talk to, especially in a small town, that might be the only interaction they get. That
I
might be the
smile.
highlight of their week.
I smile as often as I can, and I try to be smiling all the time.
You have a
But
cheery disposition, and I don't think, and I know why you just said it the way you did, but you have a very cheery disposition, and so people feel that smile radiating from within you.
right,
You dig what I'm saying?
right.
Like, people can feel it. You don't have to be physically
I'm also
smiling.
dark and deceptive. So for all my local people that are tuned in tonight that are like, what is this girl talking about?
Right. Who
Yes,
is this
she's
Love
my
and
best
Light
friend.
Red? This Love and Light
And
Red is trash. Who is this woman?
right.
This show needs to be canned. What is this?
I'm just saying, don't be ruining my rep up here, man.
Right. I'm just saying. I could just feel the locals right then.
Right,
Who is
exactly.
this woman? Where's
Right,
she at? We don't see her. Where does
right,
she come out? Oh, red. Oh, Love and Light Red. I can see it now.
right.
Good things, good things. But see, that also too, I think but you know what? That's another piece right there. Is that you may not project your love to everyone around you.
Right.
You may not. For reasons, good reasons. You may not even be, but you may not project love to all of those you are around. And that's okay too.
Yes, I agree, BJ. I do think that it can
I think it
reap.
does. Think about all these people for the last 2 years have had to watch people in mass when they die. No faces, no smiles, no comfort, just eyes, just eyeballs looking at you. You know what I mean? Honestly. And if the science is there that it can reprogram the brain of the depressed person, what does it do to someone in that state?
Right. Just listening to somebody can be love.
That's true too. That is true too. That, you know what? That's probably the most underutilized form of love. Listening.
Probably.
Listening.
You
Just
know,
listening.
right? Just listen. And it's easy to say love, not only love, not always as easy to express it physically, though. And love brings with it a fear of rejection, a
Yeah.
moment of what if they don't love me?
Yes. Yes. Oh, you know what? I wish the internet was available only for this moment in my childhood, because it was epic. Okay, picture it. Okay,
Picture.
eighth grade teen night, YMCA. It's like a thing where boys and girls go. There's like music. There's like a dance room. You can play basketball. You could buy like little snacks and hang out and talk. And it was like where all the teenagers went. Obviously, as teenagers, we were trying to get in relationships. Right.
Right.
Right. What are we there for on a Friday night that our parents dropped
All
us off?
right, all right, all right.
All right. Okay, so obviously it's not like just open, because we're at the YMCA, right? But everybody's like running their moves, making their matches. Well, I had a person that I was like very into, that I had a crush on for a very long time. This person also was my best friend at one point. Okay.
Right.
And there came a point
Well, all right.
where I was, there was a dance, there's some song came on, and there were certain songs that it was like, oh, everybody has to dance. And I asked him, would he dance with me? And he like straight out rejected me and like made fun of me in like front of his friends, like on the basketball like court. Like he didn't even know me. Like we weren't best friends. Like we don't
Right.
talk every night before we go to bed. And
Right.
I busted out the rejection hurts speech. And everybody talked about it from that day forth because I was like, rejection hurts. When you sit there and you just did this to me and you act like I don't even exist, don't act like that doesn't hurt. Don't act like you can't affect other people's feelings. I laid it out. People tried to make fun of me over that speech. No, shit was classic. That was the best shit. If I had internet one time in life to have recorded my shit, it would have been during the rejection hurts speech. People clap afterwards. People
You know
clap
what? We have
because
had the
I was like,
discussion.
rejection hurts. I was like, you don't realize what you're doing when you're just saying no.
We have had the discussion of my most epic rejection speech. And again, if I would have had the internet then like the internet is now, that
I
would
would
have
have went
been
viral.
me.
I would have been
Yep.
viral.
Yeah.
Viral.
Me too.
Viral.
Me and my Ruby Tuesday parking lot speech
Yes,
to my
girl, it was
girlfriend.
in the YMCA basketball court,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
open court. I had my arms wide and everything. Like, look, rejection hurts. I was like, this, that, this, that. I should have had a board behind me. Okay, I could have been like Bill Nye the
You know
Science Guy.
what? You know
Like,
what?
for real, it was real. But it's serious though. Rejection is something that people don't think about.
Correct.
Rejection is something that is so easily given. People take their lives over being rejected.
Right. And speaking of taking their lives, it's not just increased in the young adults, it's increased in everyone since this whole
True.
COVID thing, BJ.
True. That's true. And that's true. Most people do listen to speak, not listen to hear what's being said. That is true. That's why I said it's the most underutilized form.
Correct. Correct. And it is, and we do get it connected to those feelings of rejection.
Yeah, and I mean, it was painful for me at the time, Bonnie, but honestly, it was freeing. It was freeing. I was maybe 12 years old and I had just laid it out like, look, if you want to continue to treat girls like this, that's great. But really think about how people feel when you do this. There is a person behind your no and your rejection. There are feelings behind that. It's not just as simple as you say no and it's the end of that. Like, and the way you did it, you tried to embarrass me. So you wanted to hurt me and hurt my feelings.
Right.
And so there was so much, it wasn't just me like latching on to someone. Cause like I said, this person was my best friend. We talked every night on the phone. Like, but when we're in public, you can't dance with me. Like, what?
Right.
Like, and I laid it all out and we fell out after that. To be honest, we fell out after that because of that. Because the rejection hurt speech was epic. And everybody tried to make fun of him for bringing it up. And they're like, rejection hurts, rejection hurts. Yeah, it does.
It does.
And I'm sure at times in their life when they had that shit happen, they thought back on that rejection hurt speech because it was good shit. I laid out every reason why rejection is just not the way to go. Why you shouldn't reject people harshly. If you're going to just say no, thank you, just say, you know what, that's not for me right now. Or also think about, is it really going to hurt you that much? Would it have hurt him to take that one dance?
Right.
Probably not. But because of peer pressure, him thinking, oh, all his friends are going to make fun of him because he dances with me, then he rejects me and makes fun of me. You see, that was
not
right. So that was the whole point. Like, but it was epic. I will give it that.
Sorry, I should have said goat snot.
Goats.
That's goat snot, man.
It is goats. I'm telling you. Trash.
I'm changing the word. It's not bullshit anymore. It's goat shit. That's
Right.
goat shit.
It is though.
That's goat shit right there.
Just pebbly little balls just rolling
Yeah, goat
around
shit.
everywhere. Yes, here for it. Like, but it's true though. So I don't think
Exactly, BJ. Exactly.
that was the point that I tried to make to him too, was like, let's not let others choose our decisions. Because what if you really do like me deep down inside and now you've decided because you're afraid to be made fun of?
Right.
And I said this all, like I said, it was the most epic speech. It really was.
And
I had the whole gym being like, damn, nobody was bouncing a ball. No one was playing basketball during this speech. Like everything stopped. It was like, boom. And y'all know how loud I can get. And so it was just like, everybody was like, oh, oh, oh. And
right.
I went on for like 25 minutes. Like it was real. It was a whole Schoolhouse Rock special. Like,
Because real love for someone simply is or is not.
right.
And you're never, ever going to be loved the same way that you love someone else.
That's true. That's true.
You know why?
Well, one is just because, like I said, how can you project your love? How can you quantify it in a way,
Right.
in that
Right.
same way? You can give love to where somebody accepts it and feels the same way. But how could you ever quantify and give the same love?
See, this is the whole thing, because love is unique and it's formed based on personal traits and experiences with one another.
Right.
And then it's based again on the interpretations of those.
Correct.
So those interpretations can often differ between the people experiencing the love.
Correct.
So expecting the same is just asking to be disappointed.
That is true, though. That is true. Love is love is something that you need to be willing to grow, manifest, develop, and let go, and also without the promise of it necessarily returning back to you. That's also why love is
That's
hard.
right. Now, asking for your love to be reciprocated back to you in their way of loving is what you should be asking for.
Mm-hmm.
Respectfully. And more importantly, you need to be receiving of the way that they love.
True. And that's where love languages come in. That's why I think that love language guy, whoever wrote that, was smart. Because that's helped a lot of people be able to quantify love like we're trying to quantify, because it's really an unquantifiable thing. I think we've come to terms with that, right? I think we can all agree on it right now. Love is
You have
unquantifiable.
to teach others how to love you.
Right, in the way that you want to be loved. That's why I say it's not something you can quantify. It's not like I can say XYZ is love.
Right. Right. Not
You
one
just,
size fits all.
nope, and not for every person, every situation, every being.
Right.
So I do think that comes into play with it. I mean,
right.
Love is, I think that's why has that been one of the things that the great theologians have always pondered. Love is. Love is. You see, because it's not something that is easily, it's not measured. I don't think it can be measured in a quantifiable way at all, because each individual's love is going to be different. How deep someone loves will be different.
Right. Exactly. And, we do each have our own love languages, our ways that we express love.
True.
But the reason that I decided not to dwell in on those tonight is that there's a super it's all super trendy right now. So there's tons of info on love language right
Yeah,
now. You can
go
find
look up the
your own.
5 love languages or whatever
Yeah.
crap it is. It's all out there. But basically, some are like
Now,
touch.
I would recommend figuring out your own love language,
Right.
because then you can express how how you express love is also how you're looking to actually receive it. So, if you're going to teach others how to love you, you need to know how you yourself express it.
Mhm.
But you also need to understand that they may not express love in the same way. So
Right.
when they do express it in your way and it feels cold, this would be why, because you have asked them to express love in a way that they are unused to and uncomfortable in expressing love for the sake of your need to feel loved.
Correct. Which isn't a bad thing, but you need to understand that they're not going to be able to instantly necessarily provide that level of love that you're looking for.
Right.
Like, there is a learning curve when it comes to that. Like, let's say, okay, we'll use a couple of the examples. I know one is like touch and one is acts of service, right? So let's
Right.
say you're a touch person and you feel like love is touch, love is cuddle, love is when you see me, you put your arm around me, you hold
Love
my
is
hand, you kiss
sex.
me. Right. Love is sex, love is touching, love is cuddling, love is,
Right.
just being
Right.
connected in that physical way, right?
Right.
Okay. And then you got acts of service person. So, the fact that I take out the trash, the fact that I make sure the driveway is shoveled, these things, acts of service people feel that is love.
Right.
They are putting their love into the act of service. Okay.
Right.
You, as a touch person, cannot expect an act of service person to understand your need for touch. You need to just show them what that will look like to make you feel appreciated, because they're not going to understand that. They do not comprehend touch. Touch is not like make or break for them, but it may be for someone else. You see, so I think
Right.
that's the one of the point. Is that Ginger?
No, actually, it is not. It is the runt.
She's so cute though. Hey, look cute, right? Um, she is cute though. She got a cute little head. She's so cute. But I think that is a thing that you just can't expect acts of service person to understand as who you are, even as an acts of love person. That is,
Right.
they didn't grow up to connect those dots together. And that's not a good or bad thing. It just is.
Right.
And so, and then you come into, well, will that person who's an acts of service person be willing to give physical touch? And they might not be, because they may not think that is a part of love, nor do they feel that they need to provide that to you. So we also have to be cognizant of that too, is people have their own boundaries and lines within that.
Right.
And I think that's been hard for people.
I think most importantly as well, you need to know how to love you.
Word.
Okay? You cannot expect others to love you if you don't know how to love yourself.
Right. And be okay with who you are by yourself.
Right. And we need to do away with expectations.
Yes.
Unless you're going to take time to know and love yourself, you're never going to be ready to accept love.
You know somebody who I can personally probably call out on this network, who I know 100% loves themselves, and I will use them as a role model for the situation.
Mm.
Our dear listener, Bonnie. Bonnie loves herself. Bonnie's 100% comfortable with who she is, how she is, coming to the world as she is. More
Right.
people need to be like Bonnie. Just being okay. No more, no less. Like,
Right.
that's real. I hate to
It
use you as an example, but I just feel like you are that I am me, and I don't have to subscribe to these ideals. Where a lot of people are subscribing to ideals and changing their whole personalities and lifestyles for it to fit society. And when things change as quick as TikTok trends, you can't change your life. That's why so many young people are in turmoil, because they're literally changing their whole life and lifestyles every like 3 months to fit a new
you
fad
know,
or a new trend.
it's like when they sit back and they're like, oh my God, I can't believe that they raised the tobacco age to 21. Why? Why our generation? Why? Why? I just don't understand. Because you ate Tide Pods.
You guys,
Okay?
I mean, yeah, that should be a demotion in and of itself. I don't know how we got there as a collective society. I thought we were more intelligent, but we are not, unfortunately. But see, that's the one thing that the internet has also taught us, that not everybody's as smart as you think that they are, or as smart as you are.
Okay, you know what? Way back in the, times that we apparently are not discussing anymore.
Oh, what
We
is that?
believe.
What is that time?
Shh.
Okay.
The big man.
We believed that it was lack of knowledge, lack of the ability to get that knowledge. Now, in today's society with the internet and all the things, that was a lie.
True.
That was a lie.
That was a lie. You ain't lying.
They have more access to knowledge and wisdom now than we ever did, and
Yeah.
that
This
they
would be
ever.
comparable to what I would have thought that people of olden days would have thought that angels, like in the Hall of Records, would have had access to. You know what I mean? Honestly, like what we have at our fingertips with the internet.
Right.
Like, if people of old could see us today, they'd be like, oh my God, you're an angel. You know all the things.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, seriously, like,
For real, though.
you have this little
That
tablet
shit
that
is
pulls things
for
up. What the hell?
real.
They would, though. They'd be like, you have this little tablet that pulls things up. Holy shit. Like,
Right.
it would be real. So, I mean, you're right. We have the most information at our fingertips, but yet it seems like it is devolving our society.
Yep, you ain't lying.
We have the most access to technology, the most access to everything. We could be so much more, but yet we're devolving.
You ain't lying.
I know. And I think the reason, though, why we're devolving comes back to the general topic of tonight: love.
Right.
People have divided for many different reasons.
Right.
We have divided over race, we have divided over politics, we have divided over, I mean, all the things. The one thing we are not divided over, Sharon yeeted that pie into the sun. Okay, she yeeted it into the sun.
Yeah.
The whole internet's down. Okay. Now I saw 2 people trying to defend her, but we're not paying attention to them, okay? Because the internet is in.
And just that quick, we have forgotten the Twisted Tea stuff.
See what I'm saying? Twisted Tea, though. See, and that's what I'm saying. When trends are going this quick, how can you keep up? But love is supposed to be a constant, right? So
Right.
that's why you have to factor it into your life, because love is a constant. It is not just a fleeting moment in time like a meme.
Well, until you love self and you can express self-love in a healthy way, you're never truly going to heal or be able to love
And
others.
that's what's wrong with this new self-love thing, though. Okay, so let's talk on this since you brought it up. Okay, so now the new thing in the woke culture on the left is self-care, self-love. Oh, you must take time out for yourself. Okay, now, and I'm not saying this facetiously, but we're just gonna state it. You must take time out for yourself to take care of yourself, recharge, and re-rest yourself. Okay, but there's no guideline on this either. So in the age of entitlement, where
Right.
everybody feels we must take everything to the extreme, it goes above and beyond. It is not just simply refilling our cup. People are pouring their cup over, saying, in the name of self care. And I think that that is where we are losing sight. And self care isn't always self love, but they are conflating the two exclusively.
Seeing someone's comments. No, I agree totally.
Like they're making these two exclusive, like self love, self care, and I don't think they're exclusive. I think
Right.
they're two different ideals. Self love is an ideal of loving you and your wholeness, in who you are. Love,
Yes.
self love, not just I love myself. No, you love you as a person. You
Right.
Because you developed this person into who you are. So you should be
Right.
happy with it.
Right. Right. No, you're right.
I mean, but this is a hard concept because you know what we've been taught? We've been taught a lot. I'm gonna use a movie title: Fear and Self-Loathing.
Fear and self-loathing. Mm,
Isn't it true though?
it is.
It is true. And we've used that to pull ourselves away from self-love because we must be awkward. If I feel this way, there must be something wrong with me. I must be the only person who feels this way or thinks this way. You
Right.
know,
Right.
right. The internet, again, here comes the internet again. That's one thing that has shown us maybe we all don't think too differently.
Right.
Maybe we all do kind of think on the same level because
Right.
things have been proven just even across the world, for instance, without people being even able to speak to each other. We found out in certain cultures that people do similar things but had no way of communicating to do said things. How would they know?
Right.
So love may not be seen or quantified, but it does exist and it is power. It is a form of power.
And it's unconditional. Okay,
Mm.
in its true form,
Ooh,
it is unconditional.
it is. It is
It's
unconditional.
expressed in many different ways, but the emotion of love should always be unconditional. But we forget this and we put a bunch of conditions on it.
That's true. That was actually brought up in the sermon today at church is who made these constrictions and who decided? And, even when we think about our children, what we expect from them or what we expect from our neighbors or friends, or who put these expectations there?
Right.
Why do we believe these things?
Right.
We need to really question, where did that come from?
Right.
Because otherwise we're literally just out here potentially affecting relationships without realizing it.
It becomes lower self-love this way.
See. And those lower forms of
Meaning,
self-love, I would think, would bring you vibrationally into just lower forms of everything.
Right. And we need to apply more to our higher self love.
Right. High vibrational. Bring us out of the low frequency, out of the funk.
Right.
But this was the question brought today. Like, what, do we expect too much of our children? Do we expect too much of them in general? We say they should be XYZ way, but
Okay.
is that
First
true?
of all, what I'm going to say is, okay, I said what I said. Sorry, not sorry. Not everybody's cup of tea. Okay. Okay. Now, that being
It's like a
stated,
whole blizzard outside.
that being stated, fuck that. No, no, no. This generation is not expecting too much out of their children. And there are a lot of people out there thinking that they are expecting too much, and that's bullshit, man. Our parents expected way more out of us.
They did.
They expected us to be small, tiny housekeepers, adults, kids, and confidants all at the same time. All at the same time. We had to have
Babysitters, don't
35
forget.
jobs. Just like they did. But they wanted us to have 35 jobs.
Right? You ain't lying. You ain't lying. Now, as far as that biblical love,
Biblical love. Dang, is this the wind?
what?
Wow, y'all, it sounds like thunder snow. It's wild
I
out
know.
here. Like, it is real. Like, it's a blizzard out there, y'all. They closed I-29 from Fargo to the Canadian border. So, like, it's not good weather conditions out here. Is it a whole ass blizzard down there? Because it is up here. I don't know, man. I'm telling you, this wind
Right.
just came through like, ooh, it shook my whole house. But the biblical love, let's go back to biblical.
Because
Right.
love is brought up a lot of times.
Right.
It is a constant theme.
It is.
I mean, it truly is.
Trees are coming down in the city, Gene.
Where?
I don't know. That's what TLO just said.
You ain't, yeah, are you for real? Man, this wind. Look, I just said this wind ain't no joke. Look, taking down trees. Better not take down my big ass tree outside. Look. Okay. Now, just from a small search, okay, dailyverses.net says there's 145 verses about love in the Bible.
Right.
Trees are coming down. That's wild. Man, I can't believe that. But I can though. But I can't believe that. But because it's wild up here. So like I can only imagine. We always get wind though. I'm like red now. It's like the valley. Like it could just be a normal day. It's 20 miles an hour wind always. Just So I'm used to that now. But like now hearing that in the city, it's like, oh shit. Like this is a good little ass storm that they underpredicted, I would like to say, and that's due to the grand solar minimum. Thank you. And their 5G bullshit because they can't see the radar.
Right.
So they don't even know because this was supposed to come yesterday and it's here today now, or it's stalled out because again, grand solar minimum. But something happened and now we got a whole ass blizzard on top of us. That's all I know. Was it a 40 degree temperature swing over 48 hours? Yeah, tomorrow morning it's supposed to be like -1. It's gonna be cold as hell. Cold as hell. Burr. But then they said after this we're supposed to warm up, so I don't know.
Right.
I don't know. Yeah, you guys, you're like a rainforest up there, Bonnie. You guys don't get snow like that. You guys get a lot of rain. But snow, not so much. Now once Bonnie starts seeing snow, though, we all should just get ready
Uh,
because that's it. I mean, hell, even Red's starting to see snow, though. We all know the Grand Solar minimum's real because when I used to first start talking to Red, there was no snow where she lived ever. Maybe
right.
once, like a dusting, and then it goes away. And then lately, the last couple years, it's been like, here's 6 inches, here's 7 inches, here's 5 inches, here's 5 more.
Right.
It's true. Back to 70s by Christmas. I swear. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be like that. At TLO, I swear. I promise you. It's
Right
wild up
now
there.
we just had the warmest November on record for like, I don't know, for a really long time.
Your temperatures were like 55 consistently or higher every day. I have been looking,
Yeah.
which is nice. I'm not going to lie.
But it gets hot, it gets cold here.
It does get down to like 20, 15 at night. I've been seeing that.
Mm-hmm.
I have been seeing that. But 55 at night, that's t-shirt during the day.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a t-shirt during the day. I'm just saying.
For most people, yes.
Yeah, I mean, you know.
And
Colorado's the only place I've seen with like shorts and winter coats, but you know.
yeah, not me. I am cold all the time.
Right. That's the only time I've ever seen that. And I live in Minnesota. Like, and I've never seen, like, if you're going to wear shorts, like, you might as well just go with it. Like, the short guys in Minnesota don't wear coats. Like, they out there in a hoodie. Like, we out here.
Right?
So, like, the first time I went to Colorado and saw, like, winter coats and shorts, I was like,
Right.
well, oh, this is a thing, huh? Because short guys here don't do that. But everywhere has a short guy who, within the coldest weather, is out wearing shorts.
That's not what you do.
Which is mine.
Right.
Yeah, there was a blizzard warning in Hawaii yesterday or the day before on the summits, on both summits of Mauna Loa and I believe Mauna Kea. And yeah, 100-mile-an-hour winds, blizzard. It was the only blizzard warning in the country at the time. Now we have the blizzard warnings up by Grand Marais here in Minnesota. They're getting
Right.
bombed up there. So we have the other blizzard warning in the country at this time. But that's all right. We'll see.
Right? True.
Weather's
True.
been wild. I'm telling you. Oh, 109 verses. I actually lied. But still, that's still a lot. There's a whole
That's
ass blizzard warning all up and down the whole. Oh, there's a blizzard warning in the next county over to mine. Oh, this is a bad storm, y'all. All of North Dakota and most of western Minnesota is in a blizzard warning, actually. It's actually gotten worse since I looked at it. Again, not good.
Mm-hmm.
Actually bad. They say travel restriction to emergencies only. And I already know they have the roads closed, so you ain't get through. Whiteout conditions, not getting through. Wind chills in the negative 30s tonight. Low -7 degrees Fahrenheit.
right.
Cold tonight, y'all. It's chilly, chilly. I'm under a winter weather advisory,
Oh, bananas.
so we're supposed to get another inch gusting snow, 45-mile-an-hour winds. Oh, maybe
Right.
up to two. Oh, no, that's north of me, 2 inches. But my area,
Right.
up to 1 inch, 45-mile-an-hour winds. So, yeah, that's your local weather update. But yeah, this storm ain't no hoe. Okay, this one came in and slowed down, and our high tomorrow is going to be -3.
Oh, holy crap. What?
High of -3. So, welcome to. We have made it to freezer season. Did you see a short sky today? Look, short skies be everywhere. There's a short guy in everybody's neighborhood. Trust me. Oh, where'd you go? Oh, Red, did you mean to mute your mic? I'm sure she did, but I didn't get the heads up on that. We do have a biblical portion that we were going to get into, but since we were talking about the weather, we'll still continue with weather chat while Red's gone. Let's talk about Semaru, y'all. That's crazy. Yeah, Minnesota's wild. You could have blizzards and tornadoes if you're driving from like Missouri to Minnesota in a day. I could see that happening. I could see that happening. I could also just see it happening in general. I don't know if we've ever had like a tornado and a blizzard at the same time, but I'm sure we have. I could just see that happening here. Like having a tornado like in the southern part of the state and then having like a blizzard up by like Grand Marais. I could see that. But Semaru, y'all, okay, it exploded. People are dead. We've seen the pyroclastic flow video. Not good. Not good. I mean, Semaru's one that we know can go off. It's one of the most and largest active volcanoes in Indonesia. So, but the loss of life is going to be staggering, as well as we've talked about the after effects on things like volcanic fluorine that are in the volcanic gases and ash that like kills the animals, reduces everybody's teeth, affects the crops, affects the soil, collapses homes. Not a good situation for the people of Indonesia. Red, where did you go? Does she know she's muted? I need to know.
Yes, I did.
As long as you know you're muted. You gave me no warning. There's a little
I'm
thing.
sorry. I had to take care of it.
Next time okay. See the three dots that say more? There's private chat, bro. And in that private chat, only me and you can talk. And you could be like, yo man.
But listen, I have 10 puppies in this room with me right now. I needed a second.
No, I feel this, but I just want to show you that this exists. The puppies are out of control. I've seen more news on La Palma too, but because La Palma they probably thought was already going to pump its way out. But I think it's interesting because I think it's a new vent point on the Mid-Atlantic Ridge. And I think that for now, that's probably a good thing, so that as we get closer to the pole shift, even though we know the Mid-Atlantic Ridge will split, if we have some pressure points that are releasing it a little bit, maybe it won't be so bad. I don't know. We would probably had to preload them to get pictures of the puppies. Pretty sure on that.
Right. So I want to actually.
We're gonna go to the biblical. You said it. We were going biblical.
I did, but
now you're switching on me.
I am.
I've had it open in front of you.
Okay, we'll read your stuff.
Well, once we get to that point,
one.
Wait till we get to the point.
We were there.
But continuing on.
Oh my gosh, they're on my Facebook lead. Okay, so I want to cover some holistic and natural herbs that we
Oh,
have
right.
in the house that you'll probably just have around. And what they do, okay? And also know that we're pulling information from like books and information published way back in like 1984, 1983, 1975. Okay?
Right.
So they haven't been messed with yet. Is a better way to describe it.
Dang, and then we lose Red. Dun, 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 dun. Well, I guess until we wait to get Red back, I don't know if I should start my biblical reading for tonight. Nope, Red's back.
This crap kills me.
I know.
I can't even with this. Oh,
They do make a Barbie dream house. They really do.
they do. And
My
Ken still
my small child wants one. Okay, and they are $200+. Okay,
Shut up right
I'm
now.
not joking. Girl, they are like 250. I'm not even joking. Like that is real talk. That LOL
Listen,
dream house, same price. Like
Ken still looks ridiculous. Okay.
I mean, I want to. If I could find an old one, anyone. I'm sure my child would be happy with. My child's not that picky, but like, they're expensive.
Oh man.
Look, see. Ooh, look, Tilo. I'm just saying. I can't even say nothing. I can't. My hood tendencies will come out. Can't say nothing.
Right. Zip it. Zip it.
Zip it. Zip it.
Don't even right now.
I'm ones with the
All
Lord.
right. So let's start with something that I think most of us have just on hand, right?
Right.
Cayenne.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
So we use the fruit mostly of cayenne. Properties
Yes,
are
because it's a pepper.
right.
It has seeds, so that makes it a
Correct.
fruit.
Correct. Good job.
I know. Thanks, Fred.
You're welcome. So it's a carminative, a stimulant, an antispasmodic, and an astringent.
Mm.
It affects mostly heart, circulation, stomach, and kidneys. Now let's talk about how to do this. Okay. So, back in the day, they did infusions. And the way that they did those was 1 teaspoon to 1 cup boiling water. You take that in half of a fluid ounce dose and pour water over the cayenne. Tinctures, you should be taking 5 to 15 drops 3 times daily. Fluid extract of cayenne, You should be doing 10 to 15 drops 3 times daily. Oil for a toothache. Listen up, guys.
I'm listening.
For a toothache, clean out the cavity or hole in the tooth. Place a cotton saturated with some oil into the cavity or hole in the tooth. It is very potent, so use sparingly. Powder, 1 to 2 capsules or 1 to 10 grains 3 times daily. Powder externally, and this would be used for bleeding, and you would place the powder directly on the wound. If you could stand that, I'm not so sure. I believe in the power, but oh man, I also believe that it burns. And on an open cut, I'm not. Maybe a little doubtful. Okay, just saying. And I don't want to give away anything, but yeah. So oh, sorry guys. I'm having a very heartburn moment. Give me just a second. Oh, that's crazy. It does, BJ. Cayenne is great for arthritis, used as a tincture or powder. Also good for asthma, as a tincture or an infusion, or used as powder. Bleeding, it says, is a tincture, infusion, or powder. Blood pressure, high and low, powder. Bronchitis, tincture, powder, syrup. Chills, tincture, infusion, powder. Colds, tincture and infusions. Convulsions, tinctures and infusions. Coughs, tinctures, infusions, and powders. Indigestion, tincture, infusion, and powders. Infections, tinctures, infusions, and syrup. Jaundice, tinctures, infusion, powder, and syrup. Ulcers, tinctures, infusion, powder, and syrup. Varicose veins, tinctures, infusions, and powder. External things, frostbite, tinctures, fomentation, and liniment. Painful joints, tinctures, fomentation, and liniment. Swellings and varicose veins, tinctures, fomentation, and liniment. It's effective as a fomentation for rheumatism, inflation, sores, and wounds. It's used as an infusion and added to liniment. Taken daily, tonic should be done 4 days a week at about 1/4 a teaspoon in water or juice 3 times daily, and it will benefit your heart and circulation. It can be added to soups and salads. It is excellent when added to formulas to stimulate the action of other herbs. It is a preventative for heart attacks, flu, colds, indigestion, and lack of vitality. It is also used in the treatment of spleen and pancreas, as well as kidneys, and helps heal sores or ulcers in the stomach. The powder or tincture is rubbed on toothaches or swellings, and cayenne will stop bleeding both internally and externally. The person writing this says that they sprinkle powder on cayenne on a bleeding cut and it immediately stops the bleeding. Now, remember that when cayenne is cooked, it becomes an irritant. Chamomile. Oh, we lost Scarlett. I'm not sure what happened, but I'm sure she'll be back. Now we use the flowers. It's a nervine, sedative, carminative, diaphoretic, tonic. It will affect nerve, stomach, kidney, spleen, and liver. In an infusion, it should steep 10 to 30 minutes, not at a boil. For 6 ounces, 2 to 3 times a day. In a tincture, you should be taking 30 to 60 drops 3 times a day. For fluid extract use, about 1/2 a teaspoon to a teaspoon 3 times a day. And in a powder, 5 to 10 capsules or 30 to 60 grains 3 times a day. Internal uses. All of these are a tincture or infusion or both. Blood purifier, cramps, dizziness, gas, hysteria, indigestion, measles, menstrual problems, nervous stomach. Now, kidney problems need tincture and powder. External cramps, gas, and swelling all can be helped with a fomentation. It's a valuable drink for insomnia, nervousness, to provide appetite, and for weak stomach. 6 ounces of an infusion or 1 to 2 teaspoons of the tincture at a time is good for menstrual cramps, kidney, spleen, or bladder problems. Tea is a good wash for sore eyes and open sores. It's also applied as a fomentation for sore muscles, swelling, and painful joints. Cloves, because most of us have those in our kitchen as well. Right. So again, we use the fruit. It's an antiseptic and aromatic, carminative, stimulant, antiemetic, and an aphrodisiac. It will affect mouth, stomach, intestine, circulation, and lungs. Infusion, to steep 5 to 15 minutes, 1 to 2 teaspoons 3 times a day. Fluid extract, 8 to 30 drops 3 times a day. Oil, 1 to 2 drops 3 times daily. And powder is 1 to 5 number 0 capsules or 2 to 10 grains 3 times daily. Internal uses for infusion and powder: bronchial expectorant, cholera, diarrhea, dyspepsia, flatulence, nausea, and infusion only fevers and whooping cough. So back in the day, which isn't really that back in the day for me, so it feels weird saying that, but I guess I can start saying back in my day. We did use it for this. Externally, we use the oil applied externally on a tooth for toothaches. It will stop the pain of a toothache when applied directly to. Hi, welcome back.
Thank you. Hello.
Right? Did you finally overheat?
No, actually, just
Oh,
children difficulties. And then wind, it's wild, it's cold in my house. Like,
I'm sorry.
wild.
Yeah, BJ. They say it works really well. And it does. I've
Well,
used.
they sell one. They sell even a commercial version, like at the um, store using eugenol, just pure eugenol, which is what dentists actually use. And they sell it with a little like tweezer and some little cotton that you dip it in. And it's pure clove oil. That works. If you can't get it any other form, that works. Or even just cloves in the spice section works. Crushed up with a little oil, let it seep for a
Right.
few hours to pull out those. You could lightly heat it too, then wait for it to cool and then use
Well,
it.
they also say that a couple drops of the oil in warm water will stop nausea and vomiting.
No, I've never tried it for that actually, and it's probably something I could have tried it for because how I'm always nauseous all the time.
Well, it says that it's stimulating and warming to our system and a good addition to bitter formulas to cover the taste and improve digestion and circulation. It is also very good for people with cold extremities. I should be getting more clove.
Yeah. And
We were just
clove is
saying.
good in. Clove you could sneak in a lot of meats without tasting it.
Right.
You could sneak it in a lot of stews. That and a little tiny bit of nutmeg changes the flavor. Not a lot.
Right.
Like
Right.
just like once like quick. But this is true.
Right.
See, and I've always used ginger historically myself.
Yes.
So that's why I said I've never been one to use clove, but it would make sense. Like, for instance, I know like a few brands of oils do a digestion blend, and that is in the digestion blends.
And you know what? A good, it's gonna sound odd, but horchata is probably really good for nausea because that's like a rice milk, which is really not dairy, and it is got clove and cinnamon. That's really the trick there.
Mm-hmm. It's true.
You know what? Come to think of it, those two things are really good for digestion. Ingenious. Ingenious. So we create a drink that is easy to take down with things that make digestion easy so that you can eat more.
True.
Ingenious peoples.
Oh, or greedy. I mean, however you want to look at it.
I like to look at it as ingenious because I like to eat.
I too like to eat. Uh, I do.
Right. Just saying.
I had a really good burger tonight, actually. That was delicious.
So here's something that is exciting that you found a good burger close to you, because keep that close by.
Well, it can't get any closer, but it was delicious. And it was like this chili burger, and it had a sliced pineapple, had like jalapeno, like popper cream cheese, and then like a sweet chili sauce.
Right.
It was delicious.
Right?
It was delicious. And then some nicely crispy tots. It was delicious. Okay, but continue. And then I do have my biblical piece ready.
Right. Well, so here is something that may not be on the you may not have it in your kitchen, right? But
Right.
you have it around and you throw it away and you don't think anything about it.
Okay.
Okay. Corn silk.
Oh, right. Yeah. Always discarded. Yes.
Right. Okay. So
It was
it's
good, Sheila. It was
it's a
special today. It was
diuretic.
delicious. You'll have to come up here. They got other burgers that are good, Sheila. But that was just today's special. They got another one though that's similar, that they use a raspberry jam with jalapenos and cream cheese. That is
Mm,
also delicious. Oh, and there was French fried onions on it. There was a whole bunch of stuff going on.
ooh, delicious.
It was delicious. And they had some cheese on it. It was good.
God, that sounds so good.
It was so good. I had it at like 4 o'clock, so I'm hungry as
You
hell
got
now.
Sachi and make me hungry.
Continue.
I don't got nothing like that
I
here.
know. I'm hungry.
So zip it up.
Continue.
Back to the corn silk of life. Okay. Um Now, what we were saying is it is a diuretic, a lithotriptic, and a demulcent.
Mhm.
And it affects the kidneys, bladder, and prostate. In an infusion, you should steep it 5 to 15 minutes in 3 ounces of water as needed. As a tincture, it should be 5 to 20 drops 3 times daily. As a fluid extract, you should be getting 1/4 to a half a teaspoon 3 times daily. And as a powder, you should be getting 1 to 5 number 0 capsules or 5 to 30 grains 3 times daily.
They said 500 capsules.
1 to 5
Oh, 1 to 5. That's not too bad.
number 0 capsules.
Oh, just 0, not 00.
Right, just 0.
Because there is 0 and 00, y'all, in capsule sizes.
Okay,
Once you start
right.
capsulating your own herbs or things, you will know this, but there are 2 sizes. And if I'm not mistaken, 00 is bigger than O.
Right, I do believe you are correct.
Right.
Now, internal
1 of 3
uses for
steaks. Where's the beef? At TLO's house, apparently.
right. I know. I was sharing that. So, internal uses: bedwetting, infusion and tincture; chronic cystis, infusion; inflammation of the kidneys and bladder, infusion; kidney stones, infusion; prostatitis, infusion; fluid extract and tincture; uric excess, infusion and tincture; urine retention, infusion and tincture. So, corn silk is often used with irritated kidneys and bladder conditions. It has the ability to remove the gravel from your kidneys, bladder, and prostate gland. Good use in combination for kidney herbs or with other kidney herbs for urinary tract needs, opening up, or when there is mucus in the urine. Good for dropsy and edema when there's a weak heart, and popular remedy for the aged when the urine is scanty or has heavy sediment. Corn silk is an excellent remedy for any inflammatory conditions of the urethra, bladder, prostate, and kidney. I just
Steak
felt
is
like
good. Steak is delicious. I enjoy steak. Very much.
right.
I do. So, are we ready to tie the biblical into love? Because I think I found the passage before and after that will tie this together.
Go ahead.
All right. So we are reading from the 1 Corinthians 12. We're going to start there. And I actually have 4 different versions, but we're going to be reading from the New Living Translation for this one. All right. So now, dear brothers and sisters, regarding your question about the special abilities the Spirit gives us, I don't want you to misunderstand this. You know that when you were still pagans, you were led astray and swept along and worshiping speechless idols. So I want you to know that no one speaking by the Spirit of God will curse Jesus, and no one can say Jesus is Lord except the Holy Spirit. There are different kinds of spiritual gifts, but the same Spirit is the source of them all. There are different kinds of service, but we serve the same Lord. God works in different ways, but it's the same God who does the work in all of us. A spiritual gift is given to each of us so we can help each other. To one person, the Spirit gives the ability to give wise advice. To another, the same Spirit gives a message of special knowledge. The same Spirit gives a great faith to another, and to someone else, the Spirit gives the faith of healing. To one person, he gives the power to perform miracles, and he gives another the ability to prophecy. He gives someone else the ability to discern whether a message is from the Spirit of God or from another spirit. Still, another person is given the ability to speak in unknown languages, while another is given the ability to interpret what is being said. It is only the one and only Spirit who distributes all these gifts. He alone decides which gift each person should have. The human body has many parts, but the many parts make up of one whole body. So it is with the body of Christ. Some of us are Jews, some of us are Gentiles, some are slaves, and some are free. But we have all been baptized into one body and one Spirit, and we all share the same Spirit. Yes, the body has many parts, not just one part. If the foot says, I am not a part of the body because I am not a hand, Does that make it any less part of the body? And if the ear says, I am not a part of the body because I am not an eye, would that make it any less a part of the body? If the whole body were an eye, how would you hear? Or if your whole body were an ear, how would you smell anything? But our bodies have many parts, and God has put each part where he wants it. How strange a body would be if it only had one part. Yes, there are many parts, but only one body. The eye can never say to the hand, I don't need you. The head can't say to the feet, I don't need you. In fact, some of the parts of the body that seem weakest and least important are actually the most necessary. And with the parts we regard as less honorable are those we clothe with the greatest care. So we carefully protect those parts that we should not be seen. And while the more honorable parts do not require this special care, so God has put the body together such that extra honor and care given to those parts should have less dignity. This makes for harmony among the members so that all the members care for each other. If one part suffers, all the parts suffer with it. And if one part is honored, all the parts are glad. All of you together are Christ, the body, and each of you a part of it. Here are some of the parts appointed for the church. The first are apostles, the second are prophets, the third are teachers, then those who do miracles, then those who have the gift of healing, those who can help others, those who have the gift of leadership, and those who speak in unknown languages. Are we all apostles? Are we all prophets? Are we all teachers? Do we all have the power to do miracles? Do we all have the gift of healing? Do we all have the ability to speak in unknown languages? Do we all have the ability to interpret unknown languages? Of course not. So you should earnestly desire the most helpful gifts. But now let me show you the way of life that is best of all. If I could speak the languages of the earth and the angels, but didn't love others, I would only be a noisy gong or a clanging cymbal. If I had the gift of prophecy and I understood all of God's secret plans and possessed all knowledge, and if I had such faith I could move mountains but didn't love others, I would be nothing. If I gave everything I have to the poor and even sacrificed my body, I could boast about it. But if I didn't love others, I wouldn't have gained nothing. Love is patient and kind. Love is not jealous or boastful, nor proud or rude. It does not demand its own way. It is not irritable. It keeps no record of being wronged. It does not rejoice about injustice, but rejoices whenever the truth wins out. Love never gives up. Love never loses faith, is always hopeful, and endures through every circumstance. Prophecy and speaking in unknown languages and special knowledge will become useless, but love will last forever. And now our knowledge is partial and incomplete, and even the gift of prophecy only reveals part of the whole picture. But when the full understanding comes, these partial things will be useless. When I was a child, I spoke and I thought and reasoned as a child, but when I grew up, I put away such childish things. But now we see things imperfectly, as in a cloudy mirror, and then we shall see everything with perfect clarity. And all that I know now is partial and incomplete, but then I will know everything completely, just as God knows me completely. Three things will last forever: faith, hope, and love. And the greatest of these is love. Now, I want to continue to just one more passage because I feel that it is also important. It is 1 Corinthians 14. Let love be your highest goal, but you should also desire the special abilities the Spirit gives, especially the ability to prophecy. For if you have the ability to speak in tongues, you will be speaking only to God, since people won't understand you. You will be speaking by the power of the Spirit, but it would all be mysterious. But one who prophesies and strengthens others, encourages them, and comforts them. A person who speaks in tongues is strengthened personally, but one who speaks a word of prophecy strengthens the entire church. I wish you could all speak in tongues, but I even more wish you all prophecy. For prophecy is greater than speaking in tongues, unless someone interprets what you are saying so that the whole church shall be strengthened.
That's great.
Thank you. I thought that was a good one. It just happened to overlap. That just happens to be what the passage is there. You told me to look up the love is patient, love is kind.
Right,
verse.
right. I did.
You did. And while I was sitting here, I was reading it and I was reading what was before and after. And I was like, hold up.
Sure.
And this is a question we brought up before. Why aren't there modern day prophets? As the Bible just told us, we are supposed to do just that.
Right.
We are supposed to revel in our gifts, and those gifts are our love and active service to God.
Well, we are also from the Gospels of Jesus the Christ. We are to rule by love.
Right.
But men grew cruel and lost power to rule. Thus, protoplasts, earth, plant, and beast became intimate with us. We lost our heritage. Christ is sent to redeem us, and we lost our consciousness or right, thus losing our comprehension of boundless love. Christ is a manifest of love's power to save, but because we forget, he must be manifest over and over and over in every age. Because we forget often, he has to be reborn.
True. That is true. And so, I mean, when you think about that passage, though, and we go back to First Corinthians and we really think about what that means, we have a lot more involvement in our love than we'd like to think. We
We
have
do.
a lot more power because they basically told us the power is within us, speaking within and through each other. And that's where we need to take our spiritual gifts, right?
Right.
Like they said, basically, to sum it up, they said there's something for everybody, right?
Right.
There is a place for you at the table. God has made you at least special enough to have your own piece of the pie, have something that you can bring to the table. And that might not be something you understand. This goes back to the love that you may give, others may not reciprocate or understand in the same way.
Correct.
So we have to remember that.
Right.
We have to be cautious of that.
Exactly.
But when you think about it, like they just broke it down to very simply, let me show you a way of life that is best of all. And
Right.
that is love. And they say it pretty much the same way in every version. No matter if it's the King James version, you
Right.
know, but covet earnestly the best gifts, yet I shew unto you a more excellent way. You know,
Right.
like they all said it very much, pretty much the same way. Now, King James said charity was the way of love.
He did.
And he changed the whole passage because his passage is charity suffereth long and is kind and envieth not. It vaunteth not itself. It is not puffed up, doth not behave unseemly, seeketh not her own.
Right.
Charity. But in the New King James Version, we got it changed back to, though I speak of the tongues of men and angels, but have not love, I have become sounding brass or clanging cymbal. And though I have the gift of prophecy and understand all mysteries and all knowledge, and though I have all faith, so that I could remove mountains, but not have love, I am nothing. And though I bestow all my goods to feed the poor, and though I give my body to be burned, but have not love, it profits me nothing.
Right.
Love, even in the Bible, in a time of darkness, was seen as the way out.
Right.
Um, that is the truth.
Right.
So it's very interesting. You have to understand who's speaking the language and understand what that means. So we have to give grace to some degree.
Yeah, and you have to understand that back then love was a much deeper emotion than what we believe it to be now.
Right.
It meant a lot more. At least, well, it didn't really mean more, but it represented more to the people than what we've ever allowed it to represent to us.
True.
Being more what I was saying. And yeah,
You
so
better post that in our signal group, Teal. I would like a report.
right.
But I think that love is one of those things that it it's many things. It's not one thing. It's many things.
It is.
It's about spreading love. You know, if we're going to believe that we are made from God's love, then we must love others. I mean, it 1 John 4:19. We love because God first loved us.
Right.
Okay? That makes a lot of sense.
True. True.
Because like I had just said, we love because God, we had to start from somewhere. And God
Exactly.
showed us that love. You know? I mean,
We value love a lot less now than when the passage was written. No
we
question.
do.
No question. Hands down.
1 John 4:21. This commandment we have from him. Those who claim to love God ought to love their brother and sister also.
Right. Because love is unconditional.
Right? Love should be shown without pretending. Hate evil and hold on to what is good. Romans 2:9.
Right.
Like, it makes sense. 1 John 4:16, we have known and have believed that believe the love that God has for us. God is love, and those who remain in love remain in God, and God remains in them.
Right.
There's a reason why this becomes, and one of the commandments is love thy neighbor.
It is indeed.
So why would that be made an almighty commandment unless it is to be reciprocated?
Because it was a joke, gee.
Look here.
He was just kidding.
But let's think about that. We have to. We have to think a little way.
I'm just saying.
Nope. I think if we start thinking about this in a different way and how we interact with each other, this is going to help. Everybody, even just right here listening tonight, in their own way, can change. and make a ripple effect. Just by spreading love maybe to one person who otherwise before tonight you wouldn't have felt deserved it.
Oh, wow. Right?
I know that's deep, isn't it? Isn't that deep? It's deep. Think about that. Nobody's saying you have to act on it, but seriously think about that.
Whoa, I do it all the time. It's a very small valley.
Well, I get that. I was thinking about the larger, wider world, but yes.
Oh. I don't really think outside of that anymore. I'm too scaredy. Think it's scary out there.
Sorry. It bought me out. Up back. Up back.
That's awesome. Amazing and stuff.
Right.
We are 15 minutes over our 3 hours, though.
We are. So if you'd like to, we can wrap this up. Absolutely.
I believe that 100%, BJ. But I also believe that we have forgotten how to love God because we have forgotten how to love ourselves correctly.
True.
And since we are divine beings having a human experience, I think that that's where it's gone wrong, really.
True. I agree.
So, yeah, I think that we should wrap it up because we're just coming back and I'm tired, G.
I know. Shows take it out of you.
It's not just that, it's, I gotta work tomorrow. I got stuff going on. We got Jake from State Farm now, and
Jake from State Farm.
he's been an exciting new addition.
It's exciting. You have fun at work.
I have no idea. Tomorrow I'll be there. Right. I haven't gone to this place yet, so I don't know.
Oh, this is a new posting.
Yeah.
Well, this will be exciting. You'll have to update me. Please call me on your break. Let me know.
Right.
But we enjoy everybody. Thank you for being here with us. We appreciate all of you very, very much. And
We do.
we thank you for sticking with us and being here and coming to listen to what we have to say and starting to think about a new way.
I have 8 puppies looking for a place to go.
Today's message at church, it's funny because actually I forget what they call it. There's a special word for the program, but the message today was, look, I am sending my messenger before you. He will prepare your way. Mark 1:2.
Oh, nice.
Mm-hmm. And so people can't be afraid. Too many people are afraid. I'm gonna go on a little soapbox before we end. People are too afraid to prophecy and to say things about what they think are coming, and how that woman came at you and was like, you need to tell people that it is just for entertainment purposes. The Bible told me clearly tonight that we are allowed to prophesy, and we should if we so have the gift. We cannot be afraid, and we cannot walk in the ways of man while ignoring the ways of the Lord that tell you to basically be a free, open spiritual person. That's what it sounded. That's what I got out of it. Because it said you should be able to read something and translate it to you.
Right.
Doesn't have to be everybody else. They also talk about in that area of Corinthians how when you go to church and learn something, you go there to have fellowship and to get something out of it. It's not there for specific drilling of information.
Right.
You are there to gather, to fellowship, to learn, and then to move forward with it. And that's
Right.
what we do here. And that's what we're going to continue to do. Hopefully we can bring in a few new shows as always. I always say that, but we're always looking for more hosts as always. We're always going to be changing things. There's going to be a lot of new changes coming. And so we're going to hopefully try to build something better for you guys. We want to build a new way forward. And that's what we're going to have to do.
Cool. Lee, thank you. And thanks, BJ. I'm glad that you joined us.
Yeah, Red said she wanted to start the show back up. And I was like, let's go. Let's do it. I've been waiting for it. It's time. We're at a place in time where we need this.
2 of the puppies, Lee.
Oh,
Night, Darren.
well, if you come up here, Lee, I'll get one. If you come this far, because I already got to go all the way out there.
Right. So good night, everybody. It's been really great. I'm so glad that you all joined us.
We do appreciate it. Yeah.
We
Send any
do.
questions or any feedback, feel free. If you have any comments or anything, how this show made you feel, or did it make you think about things, or are you going to sit down and process these things? Because we unpacked a
Right.
lot tonight. A lot of deep topics. A lot of things that it's hard for people to talk about. We talked about it very easily, but love is a very touchy subject for so many people.
Right.
Love doesn't come easy sometimes due to trauma or blockages. And so we're talking about it in the very lightest form of sense, but we know that may not be true for everybody.
Right. All right, guys. I hope that you all have a safe and good week. We will be back on next Sunday. Probably at 7 again.
Yep.
So we will see you guys then. Dare to be different, dare to be you, and dare to learn to love yourself unconditionally.
From the land of 10,000 lakes, good night, universe.